Hey guys, happy 2020. Welcome back to your fucking favorite podcast.
That was so announcer.
Will you? Oh my god, dude! No! She's spilling shit.
I have to
Speaking
clean that.
of our guest, I got it, bro. I'll finish it off. Speaking of our guest, Larissa Thorold just spilled Red Bull all over Nick's nice carpet. So, with that being said, you'll get to meet her right now. I'm going to kick off this episode of Larissa Thorold as we start it now.
Redoing that
Yes! Welcome to the Nick and Tub
podcast. That was good. Again, I'm always fucking stoked on it.
I want that fucking dumb podcast. I like it.
It's fucking good shit. That was so good.
Dude, this is the best fucking thing we've ever done.
Was I late on purpose? Because I tried.
I don't care either way. It's fine. Okay. Double clap. Triple clap. You want to be the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do a really good job at it. If you guys would listen to me.
Well, what do you mean? Just by giving us direction and then us just executing exactly what you're saying? I don't.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's your guys' podcast. So creative license. But when I see something, did you guys ever reply to that person who did the poll or poll? Someone replied to it, and then I checked it a day later, and no one replied to it. And it could have been from either of your guys' personals, or
You have to remind me which.
is a podcast a creative?
No, I know, but you'd have
Some
to remind me.
rand. I
I
don't know.
think you retweeted it, but I don't think you ever replied to it.
I think there was 2 responses, and I think one of them I retweeted, and the other one I responded to because I was like,
Oh yeah.
one of them I was like, okay, I definitely want to respond to this. The other one was like, no, that's a good point. Retweet.
Yeah. Rather than just jumping straight into the whole manager thing, because it's one of those things that when you have people on that you know very well, you just kind of jump straight into random conversation, but you have to
You want to be
understand.
a manager. So we don't actually know this girl at all. She DM'd us and said, let me manage your podcast. And we go, oh, you want your very own episode? Because that's how you do it, guys.
I haven't known her for 10 years at all.
You guys want your own episode? Just DM us and ask, and that's how we get all our guests.
I've met Caleb once.
Today
Just kidding.
is Larissa, Larim, as Brandon Milan would call her.
Hey, baby.
She sat in the background for Brandon's, which is where the nickname came from. Why don't you just introduce yourself as a whole?
Wow, I hate this.
Stand up and tell the class who you are.
Hi. I don't know. That's all I had.
My name's Larissa. My favorite color
I don't even
is
have my
red.
name. I just have hi. Very breathy. Hi.
Do you have nothing?
I don't know. I'm I hate
What's your name?
Larissa
Okay.
Full name.
Full name.
Thorold.
Got
There
it.
you go.
Like the movie Thor, and then referencing someone's age. That's how
Okay.
you spell it.
That's fair enough.
So you guys don't fuck up like you guys did with Brandon.
All right, dude. I actually just changed his YouTube title because I
Nice.
didn't realize that I didn't change that.
It should be Brandon Milan, but then MILLA parentheses, fuck you, Brandon. A-N.
And just another A anyway.
Or tag the guy that has his actual Twitter handle.
You want that to be spelled so fucking badly. I can't even fucking talk right now. I'm
Good
tripping over
job.
my boop, 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 boop.
What do you do?
I'm in school right now. So I go to school at the Los Angeles Film School on Sunset and Vine. So I sit in traffic a lot. And yeah, so I'm going to school to get my bachelor's degree in entertainment business so I can be a sports manager and an artist manager. So after working in the country music industry and in fashion and in event planning.
We're actually going to get into all of that.
Yeah.
Because you lived a very interesting life.
It's been how did I get here kind of life.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if anybody remembers the whole how did I get here tattoo idea, that would be from Larissa.
Fucking stole it from me.
This is the friend.
You
Okay.
remember when Nick told us not to breathe in the mics, and I've just been doing breathy sentences, and he's over here gulping.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to the ASMR podcast.
Well, it's just making sure that like, okay, the gulping and the hitting of the tables and shit like that's fine. But when people are like if you guys could hear how the people listening just heard that and how I heard it, it's fucking gross. It just sucks.
We're doing everything that Nick told me not to do.
I mean, really what we can get into is
So country industry, that's what I want to hop into.
I am going through my head with all the different things that I could start with, but yeah, we can.
Okay, so I'll start from when I left the Antelope Valley.
There, that
I
works.
think that kind of starts everything.
Somebody's
so-
listening to this like, the dream.
The dream.
Don't worry, she's fucking back.
I'm gonna go cry now. Laughs behind my tears. So I went to FIDM, and did my AA in visual communications.
What is FIDM for people?
I was about to say,
that don't
yeah,
know?
explain FIDM to people who
It's
don't know FIDM.
a fashion college, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandise in downtown LA. And
It's basically Fetch University.
yes. And I got my art associates in visual communication because I thought I wanted to be a celebrity stylist, and did a few gigs, just, like steaming clothes, helping models get into their outfits for like runway shows or magazine launch parties and stuff like that. And then actually met one of the celebrity stylists who I was like in love with, had a conversation with him. And then after that conversation that I had with him at FIDM, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. No, sir.
Just the one conversation?
Yeah, it was a really good conversation. And he was just telling me about his job and like what it all entails. And I was like, yeah, no, like that sounds super awesome. And that sounds so much fun for somebody else. And then after that, I kind of had like a fuck moment because FIDM's not the cheapest school. And I went into it thinking like wholeheartedly I was going to be a celebrity stylist. And then once I realized like that wasn't the thing, I was like, oh gosh, what am I going to do now? And then event planning kind of just fell in my lap. So then after FIDM, I was a wedding planner for 7 years, and I do that on and off. Wedding planning has always been like a extra source of income.
7 fucking years. God
Yeah.
damn, I didn't know you did it for that long.
Yeah, I've been wedding planning
And
for a
how
really
old are you
long
now?
time. I am 24.
It's just
So-
crazy that you did it for that fucking long at
Yeah.
that early of an age.
Yeah, so I started FIDM at 17.
Mm.
So the first week of school is when I turned 18. So it was just like where my birthday lands,
I was about to say, if you're born in July, you kind of graduated at 17.
For those,
17.
let me just prepare you for what's going to be coming.
17.
And this isn't like, oh, we recorded this before the body. No, I'm already going to predict it's going to be a fucking shit talking Nick show. You guys are going to enjoy yourselves. It's going to be a good time. Promise. So keep going with.
Oh yeah, so like where my birthday is, I did everything very young in life. So yeah, did the whole FIDM thing, kind of changed my career, did event planning. That was kind of just coasting me through college, so my mom couldn't be like, I hoped you paid for college and now you're not even doing what you said you were going to do. So I was like, hey, at least I'm still doing something. Like my
At
degree.
least you're self-sufficient.
Yeah, I was like, at least my design degree didn't go to shit. And I
Right.
used to send her photos out in Nashville when I was wedding planning there. I used to send her photos of like the tablescapes that I did and be like, hey, Darlene, at least my design degree didn't go to waste, right? I'm putting plates on a table.
You refer to your mom as her first name?
Nick thinks that's so weird.
It is weird.
It is
Is
very
it?
weird.
It is weird.
I don't know. I go
I mean,
in and
my,
out.
my mom's situation, I still call her mom. Like, I don't refer to her by her first name.
I go in and out. Like every once in a while, I'll be like, oh yeah, like my mom. Or I'll
Yeah,
be
you
like,
do.
yeah, me and Darlene are getting Botox together. What's good?
See, like, I don't know. I've met people who do it too, who've done the same thing, and I'm just kind of like, no, not for me. I can't do it.
I can't remember the first time I've ever called my mom by her first name. It just kind of started happening. But I also think of my mom as like, and Nick's probably gonna laugh because he's seen like how I talk about my mom in an ever so loving way, just in case she watches this. Just the way that I talk about my mom and like how me and her interact, but like my mom's more of like my friend than she is of a mother.
I was gonna
and
guess
it's not
that.
like not saying that she's like not motherly and she wasn't like an amazing parent or anything like that.
But after you hit a
like,
certain age.
yeah, like my mom never drank in front of me until my high school graduation, and so I just never thought that my mom liked alcohol or liked beer or anything like that. And then at my high school graduation, it is just all of my mom's friends and my mom. And like I look back and my mom is just like ripping shots. And I was just like,
So it just became more of a friend thing rather than.
well, after that, it's just like she knew that I was an adult and I just stutter. My mom knew that I was an adult and I'm the first child from my knowledge on that side of the family who has like gone to college. So I think at that point she was like, my job, I did what I was supposed to do. She's getting herself an education. She has goals. And my goal was like always to leave the Antelope Valley. So she had no worries of me like ever getting stuck somewhere or like getting into stuff that I shouldn't be getting into. I was always very like looking towards
Driven.
the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just trying to
That's-
do something.
That's so interesting. Like I totally understand. Even if you weren't to explain it, I would have guessed like, oh, the first name basis probably comes from like a close, tight knit friendship.
Yeah.
Because I can see that with a lot of people. I think that was kind of like one of the similarities amongst people I've ran into who actually refer to like their parents by their first name. It's only really if they have that like friendship with them.
That's interesting because my sister refers to our father as his first name, and it's because they don't get along.
Okay, well that's
I refer to
that's
my
a bit
father
different.
as sperm donor.
Yeah.
Shout out. I was
gonna say
his name.
drop
I was
it.
gonna say his name, and then I was like,
Probably not.
Vince knows.
Yeah, probably.
Hey,
Oh
cousin.
yeah, by the way,
Oh yeah.
she's cousins with Vince,
Yep.
our previous guest.
Okay, so in high school, I went to Highland and I went to Lancaster, and I have always run into like Vince being my cousin, and then there was his cousin that went to Lancaster that I would see every once in a while, and I'd be like, "Hey, blah blah blah," and people would be like, "Who'd that?" I'd be like, "Oh, family," and they're like, "No,
No.
she is Vietnamese. You're not family." I was like, "Oh, well, my dad married her aunt," and they were like, "Okay, cool, makes sense." And then I would go and hang out with like my aunt and my uncle. And my aunt has Filipino children. And so we'd be walking around town and be like, oh, yeah, these are my cousins. And everyone would be like, no. I'm like, yes.
You get
And
the
then-
occasional, oh, I can see it.
Oh, yeah, the complete liars. Yeah, you guys look related.
Oh, wow. No,
Hey, do me a
totally.
favor. Say Lancaster again.
Lancaster?
Okay. So, did we get to what part of your story? Just because your accent comes out every so often.
Yeah, it gets really bad
That-
sometimes.
Well, she
Southern.
briefly mentioned when I did weddings in Nashville and then went back to, so I'm trying to get out of the AV.
had a quick reminder.
Spoiler.
I'm back.
So, what part of your story did we get to with?
Okay,
Fitum?
so after FITM,
She was sending pictures of plates to her.
Yeah, to my
Yes,
mom.
Her friend
that part,
Darlene.
I just didn't know where that landed with Fitum. So after you graduated, during.
that Nashville was after I graduated. But while I was at FITM, I did the whole graduation thing. Their graduation is super cool. They like rent out the entire Staples Center, and
Jesus fucking Christ, your
I-
tuition must
Sorry.
be so much money.
I got to walk across the Staples Center stage, and my face was on like that big jumbotron
yeah.
screen. And I remember like them calling my name out, and the only thing it's like pointed my family out, that little small little dot in the middle of the crowd, and I was just like, I am on a jumbotron and I'm gonna fall. Like, I know that's gonna happen. I'm in heels that I don't necessarily know how to walk in, and I'm like kind of got the shakes. I'm just, and they give you the steepest set of stairs, knowing that like 90% of the population is all females, and the highest heels imaginable. So I'm like walking up these stairs shaking.
So it's like American Ninja Warrior
For
on
me,
your way to get your degree.
if you can make it without falling, you get a degree.
Please tell me you ate shit.
No, I
damn it.
didn't.
I got my degree.
I didn't, but I tripped right when I got to the final step. So like the camera was no longer on me. So it's like walked down the steps. It was flat. And then the second step that I took, I like stumbled and I was like, thank God.
You were that
That
close.
was the moment that I decided to trip.
That would have been fucking rough. That would have been good.
My family would plaster that photo of me
Oh, yeah.
on the floor.
100%.
Like,
Sorry.
That's a missed opportunity.
I should just fell on purpose, huh?
My brother did a backflip on the stage for his
Of course
graduation.
he fucking did.
And he like landed it kind of messy, and I was like, "Oh,
That's so
get him
awkward.
next time,
Look, I love
Get him
your,
next time.
next graduation."
I love your brother. I really do. Like Dom did the same shit, I believe, during our graduation. I think he did a backflip. I'm just like, hey, just grab it and go. It's fine.
Hey everyone, I'm better than you.
Like
Flip.
Just it's. I don't know. I wouldn't say
I
I'm
enjoy that
indifferent on
shit.
it. I just don't see a point. But
I
that's
like
just
it.
me.
I like the
showboatiness of
the
it.
showboatiness. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. I wish I like would have been more
Backflippy.
I was gonna say that.
backflippy. Yeah. No, just more like.
Aerodynamic.
Yeah, I guess. I'll shut up now. It's cool.
No, that's fine.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, never. But yeah, no, I just wish I was more like, I was obviously loud in high school, but I just wish I was more like
Out there?
bubbly, I guess.
Bubbly?
Out there,
Yeah, I
like-
don't know.
Oh, just,
I just
out,
like,
okay. Out there is
yeah.
a good way of
Yeah,
putting it.
just-
Aren't you though? You are, especially with
I
like
can't
all this
imagine you
shit.
being more. You're pretty.
Yeah,
there.
you're pretty much there.
I mean, you don't backflip, but like you're one backflip away from hitting your pinnacle.
Yeah.
Dom, teach me.
Okay. I mean, Dom is loud and showboaty. Your brother's quiet.
and
show.
and he's quiet and can do a backflip.
Yeah, that's pretty
You
much it.
Nobody ever does a backflip privately with no one watching.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
That's true.
Pretty sure there's never been a backflip not seen by somebody
The
else.
second that they learn how to land it, it's like from this point forward, I will never do
will-
another one again alone.
Yeah, exactly. This will never not be witnessed. Literally, I take him to the occasional house party, and he'll just be like,
yeah.
Hey, yeah, guys, I'm just chilling over here, having fun. Red Solo cup in my hand, no big deal. And then side flip in front of everybody, and
Now,
then back to my
if
normal
he-
thing.
Does he listen to these?
Very rarely.
Okay, Josh, if you hear this, I love you. I have no problem with what you do. I'm just saying, like, give it more substance.
Yeah, do a backflip with sparklers or firecrackers.
That, or like, or learn
Throw
how to
paint
hold
all over the place.
Learn how to hold a cup, and as you do a backflip, you don't let go of the cup, but it doesn't spill. That I am impressed.
Nick is telling you your backflip is nothing.
Your backflip is just a backflip, dude. I can breathe. You can do a backflip. Congratulations.
I have a friend in Nashville, and his name is Pat. I'm going to go ahead and name drop that one because he craziest flips you'll ever see. Ever. Like, he'll have a red Solo cup and a ping pong ball and like do a flip on the trampoline and like mid-second flip, throw the ping pong ball, and then it lands into the Solo cup. And I've watched him do some of this stuff like live, and I was like, this is
See, like stuff like that.
this is insane. Like, what? And like his main thing is like he loves to flip. Like flipping and like gymnastics makes him really happy. So he had a thing on Instagram called like Flip a Day. I'm pretty sure he still has it. But he's just like, do what makes you happy at least once a day.
Yeah.
Just every single day, but do it.
Okay, let me rephrase this. If Josh or Dom were to run across the stage and like Dom being the gymnastics fucking god that he is, just flipping nonstop, cool. Like I'm down for that. That's cool as shit. I don't know what
Grabs
the
his diploma midair.
Ooh, fire. See, like if there's more to it, but I think it's just because it's one of those like, hey, look what I can do. Clap. Like it's just I think for me it's too little of something to get the applause that you want versus if you were to do like two back to back, I'd be like, yo, that's kind of fire. Like that's actually impressive. That's just my thought on it. I'm just a piece of shit.
Long
So
No, I
Sorry.
think I'm just a simpleton who's still entertained by a simple backflip.
yeah, I like the thing. I've seen 13 today. So you graduate middle.
And you did a backflip in your heels, right? That's
Just
where we
when
were
we
at.
thought you guys were getting better at like not getting
We
sidetracked.
What the
are.
fuck are you talking
No, I'm
about?
kidding.
No, we're
I
getting
hope
better
you know-
at intros.
Oh, I
That's
got someone
literally it.
mad.
I hope you know that sidetracks are what pay the fucking bills, all right?
Oh, do they? Do they? Please tell me what
Sponsored?
paid for this phone and this table, this laptop, these mics, these cords. Please inform me where you're getting your money.
manager?
Cold hard cash.
I'm just kidding.
What'd you
I
say?
said the manager.
Did you say the side Patreon I've had
Yeah, dude.
since March?
I would fucking murder you. I'd be like, you owe me so much money. Oh, shit. Imagine.
I thought we weren't going to tell him
I mean, I thought we were going to tell him on the episode.
later. Like,
Imagine
in the
that shit.
closing.
Imagine that shit. Like, you've been a part of this since the beginning. There was like a side Patreon. I'd fucking lose my mind. I'd quit right here. I'd be like, oh, cool.
And then you would let her win. That's her plan.
But if I quit, I win. Like, I don't know. Like, what, your plan is to end this?
No, her plan is to take over.
Oh, see, no. This is my house. Like, you can go do it at your house. You can go
No,
start
we'd still
your own.
do it here. You'd say no, and Larissa would say please, and you'd go.
Jesus
then you'd walk
fucking
away.
Christ. So you graduated FITM.
Okay, so I graduated FITM, but when I graduated FITM, I think there was like a month gap in between. And one of my favorite country music duos, their wife was starting a clothing company and was looking for interns. I didn't see the post. My mom sent it to me, and she was like, "You should just apply. If you don't get it, not that big of a deal.
You
But
were
if
like,
you
wow,
do,
clutch as fuck, Darlene. Thanks, bro.
basically." And then I was like, "If I do get it, sick." And so I applied and then lived my everyday life, and then got the job.
So were you in Nashville already when you
No,
applied
so
for this?
I was
this
still
is what
I was
brought you
still
out.
living in downtown LA. Yeah. So I applied for the internship. I like remember this day so perfectly. I was at work and I was telling my boss like, "Hey, I applied for this internship. Like, it'd be super cool if I get it," because everyone always knew like I wanted to move to Nashville at some point. And I was like, "Yeah, and it's in Nashville. It'd be super cool." And so then I went on my lunch break, checked my emails, and it was like, "Hey, we really want you on the team. Can you move in 28 days?" And I like started getting really hot, and like the little back room was so small, and I was like, ran outside, and I was like, "I quit!" And the girl was like, "You got it," and like she was so happy for me, and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "So like, are you gonna finish this shift?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I gotta leave in 25 days because moving out there takes 3 days." So yeah, and then I moved out to Nashville, and it was awesome.
That's such a fucking twist
Yeah,
for your
and
life to take, going from like
not really knowing what I wanted to do, and then I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do when I got the internship either. But the internship was for Florida Georgia Line, and one of the guys and his wife started a clothing company called Tribe Kelly, and I was just their like social media intern and event planning. And so once I got the job, they're amazing humans, by the way. Like when people say that they meet like their
idols.
yeah, they're idols, and like sometimes they say like don't meet people that you look up to because
Don't meet your heroes and shit like that.
yeah, but like I guess I never really looked up to them. I always just thought that they were like loved their music. And so I finally met them, and their wife was like, and the two girls that I worked with, they were like, "Let us know what areas in Nashville that you're looking to move," because I've never visited there. I was just gonna look online for an apartment and then blindly just
Move to a city you've never been to.
Exactly.
Safe.
I love it.
And so they were like, "Let us know what apartments you're looking at so we can go drive by it and let you know if it's in a good area or not."
That is very
I was
convenient.
like, wow, these people are just gems of humans. So then, yeah, I quit my job, told my roommate that same night, started packing my stuff, and
Then waited 28 days.
got into my Volkswagen Beetle and drove from California to Tennessee.
Jesus Christ.
Your life is a Hallmark movie.
Except for I didn't fall in love. Sad. And I
Your
moved
life is a
almost
off-brand Hallmark movie.
Lifetime.
Yeah, there
Dark.
we go.
It's just dark.
So when you ended up moving out there, by the time you got there, and I don't know, did you even get anything set up before you actually like started working?
Oh yeah. So there was another intern, so there's two of them, two of us, and two of them. It's two of us, and I got everything settled for about a week. Ended up texting the girl, and I was like, "Hey, I don't really know anyone in this town, and she's visited Nashville a few times." And so I was like, "Do you like want to go get coffee or something?" Like, I don't know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, "Yeah, you'll really love this coffee place. It's called Frothy Monkeys. It's the cutest place ever." And that's just like, I met the intern before I met the team, which was cool because it was like I had a buddy like walking into that with. And she did a lot of like graphic designing stuff. So we were kind of on the same, like I need her graphic design work to be able to do social media and event planning. But yeah, and then so where I ended up living was like my apartment, which was like on the bottom of this hill. And then the people who like owned the company was like at the very top of the hill. So if I ever needed to go to their house for like photo shoots or anything like that, it was like a 5-minute drive away.
That's not bad at all.
No, it was great.
I know a lot about different stories, so if anything, just ask whatever questions come to your mind, just because like there's information that I don't want to fill in just because it's part of her story. But the one thing that keeps coming to mind over and over, and it's I don't want to like skip around, but it was just because you brought it up earlier, was the whole like your face was on that billboard thing.
Oh, that has nothing to do with
literally
this company.
nothing to do with that.
No.
Sweet tangent. Your face was on a billboard?
Yeah, it was. Nick, pull up the photo.
It's
Show
not-
Caleb.
it's-
It's not a billboard, but you know when you're like, there's like a store.
Storefront picture.
Yeah,
There you go.
and
What the fuck?
But it's like it's the size of like a fucking. It's huge.
It was as if my head wasn't already big. Here's a 12-foot photo of me next to my favorite coffee shop
Where was this at?
in Nashville. Yeah.
How did you swing that?
I did a little bit of retail for this store called Rev, and they were small boutique, so it wasn't
Dude,
like
that's dope as fuck. I wish we could pull it up on the camera. Sorry, guys, but that's fucking
just
hard.
like-
So you got this big black and white portrait, or not portrait, like big black and white shot of you behind these mannequins at a storefront.
It's, It's not black. Is it a black and white shot itself?
No, the shot
that was
itself
just the
is in black
filter
and
on it.
white, but
Yeah.
I took the photo at night, and it was a little
Okay.
washed out, and my hair looked red for some reason.
So you made it black and white.
Yeah,
Gotcha. That's
to
dope.
help my own fix your hair.
Okay, I was
Whoops.
okay. I was
Thank
gonna
you.
say
You have an
earlier, but I didn't
alfalfa
want to be.
sticking out of like.
Literally, all that went through my head when I was looking at your hair because you guys were talking was Danny going, "Nick, stop ruining the flow of things." And I was just like, "All right, there you go, Danny. I'm gonna let your fucking boyfriend just suffer with his hair sticking out like that."
You can say fix my hair. It's all right.
Yeah, but you guys, it was in the middle of you talking, so I couldn't. And then it just got way out of hand. So I don't know, dude. Like, rather than just going through every timeline unless you want to, like,
It was just a weird time. I was out there for like 3.5, almost 4 years.
hey, dude, don't fucking do that. You know, just don't.
Now
your hair
you look
looks like fucking shit.
Johnny Bravo, but like the poor man's Johnny Bravo.
Wow. What's like some of the crazy shit that you did out there that you witnessed, that you were a part of, like not just parties, but like the
I signed
interest.
an NDA. I can't say that. I'm just kidding.
Did you check your NDAs?
I didn't because anything. I mean, I can't tell you where they live, obviously. But anything that was secretive that I can't say about the clothing company, they're
Yeah.
already on like their 3rd or 4th line after
Yeah.
that. So it's all.
But what
You're
about
chilling
some
now.
of the like people that you met over the time and stuff like that?
I've met like a lot of celebrities just being around these group of people. And there's nothing really that bad where I can't be like, I can't say like I've met I do actually have a list of a bunch of people's phone numbers, addresses, and email addresses because at one point I had to like send clothing to those people and like make sure that, and like I was basically just filling in an Excel sheet like, oh yeah, this is this person and this is their email address and this is blah 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 blah. And yeah, I still have that. So every once in a while, I'm like, I have Justin Bieber's phone number.
That's fucking crazy. I was thinking all like country singers.
No, it's like I remember checking like Justin Bieber, Scooter Braun's, obviously a bunch of like country people, Nelly, who else was in there? The entire warehouse for Nitro Circus.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
that's fucking cool. I didn't know you had
That's
that.
wild.
Yeah.
You're like Justin Bieber. I'm like, okay. You're like country singers, Nelly. Then you go Nitro Circus. My brain goes, that's fucking sick.
Whoa.
Explosions.
So you want to manage the podcast?
And here I am.
I mean, we can touch back and
no.
forth on a few things, but that's like one of the more recent things that we're talking about. So,
Well, I'll touch on something.
Yeah.
The culture of Nashville versus downtown LA. Can you talk about the contrast?
Yes, like I'm a prime example of the difference. Like in
Because I can imagine it still has that big city feel. Because Nashville's not small.
but everyone's
But it's still like
southern and
Southern,
nice.
yeah.
So I could just give you an example. Like in downtown LA, I was very vain, and I cared about social media a lot.
an image,
And image was a huge thing in my life.
reputation.
And like doing fashion shows to tell people that I was at a fashion show, even though I was steaming clothes. Like, you know, you leave certain words out. And then I moved to Nashville, and everyone, like, I was working a retail shop just to like make ends meet, doing like the internship and then bills, obviously. And I don't know if you guys watch The Voice at all, but Daniel Bradbury came into my shop, and she was one of the girls that won, like one of the first 2 seasons.
I used to watch it way early.
But
They lost CeeLo Green and they lost me. So honestly,
you would be a big CeeLo Green guy.
totally fucking kidding. That's fucking cool though.
I'm never gonna not see you and think like CeeLo Green.
Yeah, you are.
you're going to forget immediately.
What?
You're not good. You're fine. Anyway,
So she
But
came in.
so yeah, I saw Daniel Bradbury, and obviously
Daniel or Danielle?
Danielle.
Danielle, got it.
And me just like trying to make connections. I was like, Danielle, you know like Brittany, right? Brittany Kelly, like who my boss was married to the FGL guy. And she was
the
like,
FGO guy.
and she was like, yeah. I was like, I work for her, like da-da-da-da, like just trying to make my connection. So I rang her up, and I didn't really know it was her either until I looked at her card and like verified name. I felt like such a skeezy guy doing that. I was like, oh yeah, that's her.
For sure.
And then I gave her whatever. And then her guy friend was like, hey, what do you want to do that's not retail? And I was like, I think I want to be an event planner. And he was like, well, can I get your Instagram? And I was like, yeah, here. And we exchanged Instagrams, and he was like, my girlfriend works for one of the top 5 event planners in the US. The award shows are coming up. So if I can get you at least to like intern or do a day of thing, I would love to do that. We can talk about it over coffee. And I was like, oh, this guy's totally busting my ball right now. But like, I'm just going to see what happens.
You're like, I don't believe him. So I was like, no, I don't like coffee. Thanks.
I'm actually allergic. Anaphylactic shock. Dies in front of him.
Jesus Christ. Okay, we got it.
She's like, they haven't laughed at the joke yet, so I'm going to add more layers until they do.
going.
That's
going.
exactly what
Keep
I did. I was
going.
like, and death.
We're sitting here with blank faces, and she's like, and then at the funeral, when my family's crying and Darlene can't get the words out,
Don't bring Darlene into this.
I'm never calling her your mother.
Anyways. No, then we went to coffee, and he was like, yeah, the award shows are coming up. Let me see if we can try to figure something out. And then did an interview with the planner. And she was like, yeah, so I just need someone to post on social media at 5 different award shows. We'll just pay for your Ubers back and forth to and they were all across town, like different venues. And she was like, and then when you're done, you can just go to one and just hang out or something.
Ooh, that's good.
So I was like, okay, cool. Did that, and then ended up figuring out like where I wanted to stay, and partied at one of the after parties. But yeah, like just that is, people in LA don't do that.
Oh, gotcha.
Like
yeah.
no one would just be like, oh, girl working retail, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Here's an opportunity on a silver platter. Everyone in LA is like, no.
Because they all want it themselves.
Yeah, they all want it themselves. Or even if they don't want it themselves, they're like, why would I waste my energy giving you my Instagram, going to coffee with you, and then giving you? Like, that's just so much time and effort of like someone else's life that people are just like, no.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty fucking solid. Is there like an overall just more of a friendliness with just like strangers out there?
I became like, my moving out there was like the best thing that ever happened to me, just because like I used to be like a raging bitch. And Nick has PTSD right now, like
Can attest to that for sure.
No, even not knowing you back
he
in
was
high
like,
school,
yeah, you were a bitch.
I heard enough about you.
Yeah.
I mean, Nashville.
Leave a comment below on all the shitty things I've ever done to you.
Wonder how many people are listening to this that don't actually
No,
like
you
it.
know how
the
many
amount of
people are
people-
not listening because my name's on it?
I was going to say somebody's gonna scroll because everyone who listens to this are like our friends.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna scroll and go, "Oh my god, why did they put Larissa on?" Because I haven't met you since high school.
Exactly.
So,
Which is always a really interesting thing to me because I had this conversation with Alex, who was on one of our episodes, a good friend of mine. And she talked about her past and how like she used to be this type of person, and then she had her little one, Ren, and then now she's like this loving, just all around great human being that would not hurt a fucking fly. Like genuinely super, just a big sweetheart. And it's funny because people that know her back then, like we went to a party once that a lot of people knew her past and didn't know her now. They haven't seen her in like 3 or 4 years, and they're just like, oh, like, what are you up to? What have you done? All these different things. And she's just like, I need to detach myself from these people. Like she was having like a fucking meltdown because it was just reminding her of like who she used to be and how those people aren't letting that go and not like recognizing who she is now. And it's like the same thing for you, where it's like people will see your name and just have this like, she probably hasn't changed in what, 6, 8, 10 fucking years. It's like, hey, give it a shot. You literally never know. Like,
Well, yeah, like when we met or like reconnected this past year,
yeah.
we were at a mutual friend's party, and they were like, it was like one friend, me, another friend, and they were like, yeah, we invited Nick, and they both looked down at me, and I'm just over here like eating a taco, and then I realized that people are staring at me. I was like, I don't care. It's been like 7 years. Like I no longer have any like ill feelings towards this guy. Like I bring him. I'll call him. I don't care. And then they were like, yeah, cool. And then we ended up being like,
It's
It
like
was
hit it off.
insane.
Like it was, we had this whole, I showed up and we just kind of like started minorly talking. Just like, hey, what's up? How you been? That kind of stuff. And then we both started drinking with everyone else. And as that started happening, like they had made this whole taco platter fucking extravaganza. There were a shit ton of tortillas. And
but
so,
the
I don't
air
remember
got
who's.
to them, so they got hard and stale.
Yeah. And I don't know
And
whose
my
idea.
dumbass.
Oh, was your idea?
I think so.
She,
Who else would have?
she picked one up and either threw it at me or threw it at someone. And
Like a
then
Frisbee.
Picked up another one and threw it again. And then before we know it, there are about 15 people in this house picking up tortillas. And we're
just-
having a full on like Frisbee tortilla war. Like people had been hit in the face and some people called out like they were done. Other people were getting hit in the fucking back with them.
Like
and it
a
was
month
just,
later, the girl was cleaning
she
and found a tortilla
Yeah.
underneath her like TV stand.
and it was a really, and after that, we just kind of kept in contact and it was like, dude, that's really cool. Like we've both grown up. Like we're completely over that shit. We joke about like the past now, but it's not something to hold on to with people. And
One day we'll tell everyone.
tell everyone about the past shit.
Oh,
How I wrecked havoc.
Yeah. I mean, we can fucking, I don't care. We can get
Let's
into
go,
that.
Nick.
all right.
Over
So why does everyone look at you when they say that they're inviting Nick? What's the context?
I don't know, Nick. Tell him.
Shattered my heart for like 3 fucking years. Maybe 4, actually. We'll make it up to 4.
We'll round up.
Was like wholeheartedly can say this,
Oh gosh.
like without it being weird, because it's just one of those things you just get over. But like
I got
wholeheartedly,
all of these tattoos because of you.
but like
She said that she was into guys with tattoos.
and so is that what the fuck is that? A country lyric? What are you, I don't understand.
No, it's just your
that was
life.
just a
Oh, I
joke.
literally I couldn't understand why you guys were like, go fuck yourself. So,
And it starts.
yeah, this is what I was talking about. Once I lose out on one joke, it's just game over.
You're fucked.
I don't know, dude. Eighth, ninth grade, probably ninth grade,
Yes.
ninth grade. Because I was still dating that other chick at the time. Ninth grade, just kind of.
Here's a new drinking game. Every time Nick brings up an ex, drink.
How many times do I bring it back?
Every episode.
Do I?
I don't listen back.
I don't either. So I don't fucking know.
Well, like people who binge probably think you guys just broke up or like.
Oh shit. That's funny.
So,
Anyways.
I don't know. In ninth grade, ended up like getting it. I don't even know how it started, but got an interest in each other. I chased her around. She literally pulled me around on a fucking string for 4 years. And
What fucking killed me was whenever you would describe what your tactic was to shut him up, if he was ever going to say anything to you or ever tried.
I would see a look in Nick's eyes, like we would have like banter back and forth of like just little stupid little shits, and I would see him like starting to get mad, and like there was a look in his eyes that he was like about to like say something really mean to me, and like my fragile heart couldn't take it, but it could dish it, and so I would be like, "Shut up, Nick, you're in love," and step away.
And I would just get fucking pissed and storm out the room.
Because he was like, I am.
It's so.
I am in love.
And this was like in front of people.
Oh, yeah.
This was in front of like
This,
30
like-
fucking people in a classroom. It was
Shut up,
great.
Nick, you're in love. Everyone turns and looks. Just runs out the fucking room.
Didn't help that I had my fucking long emo hair and my super tight jeans.
I
and-
heart boobies bracelet.
Oh no. Although I probably did wear bracelets at that point.
I saw Nick the other day, and he was in like those like skinny tank tops. That,
I'm
like,
curious
little
what 3 words you were trying to start right there.
Just I was trying to.
You know those t-shirts?
You guys. Like no, like the skinny strap, like super emo-y tank tops that like go down way over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick
A
was wearing
tank
one of
top
those
to
the
work
other
out
day.
in.
Yeah,
Because
the old like Warped Tour tank tops.
yeah,
that people wear.
Exactly
literally
that.
exactly one of those. Yeah,
I saw Nick. I said, "What the fuck are you wearing?
because
You look like high school Nick. I'm gonna vomit."
me and tank
gonna
tops,
vomit.
me and tank tops straight up look like shit. I don't know like why I ever thought they were okay. Like, do you wear tank tops ever?
No,
Yeah,
but I don't.
Do you think
ever
tank
have
tops
the-
is like one of your worst trends that you've ever participated in?
oh yeah, 100%. Well,
Mine-
that and like 2 sizes too small band t-shirts. Yeah, those two. Those are great.
Where like I saw your belly button.
If I lifted my hands, yeah, 100%. Always had to like pull down the shirt.
That's
and
why
try to-
Nick was
Yes,
so.
crop top. You have a question?
That's why Nick was so in love with me because we were just constantly trading clothes.
It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up.
Wow, you guys are like matching again.
Again, was she wearing that yesterday?
Is that her
I
tank
think-
top?
I think- on a complete side note, I went to Arizona once to go visit friends that were living out there, and I'm not going to drop his name, but met mutual friends of the people that I was going to visit, and this dude was very flamboyant, but not in any way gay or like questionable. He was just very comfortable with himself. Like the way he would smoke cigarettes was very pompous, is how I could describe it. So he would take his cigarettes and he'd smoke them like this, and he'd have his fucking hand out like that, and he'd have his legs.
the mic.
No, I know. For people that can't see that, it was
The
like
lid. The
elbow
lid.
in one
The lid, the
hand,
lid, the
and as
lid.
he would smoke, his wrist would just kind of let out,
Lay limp.
Yes,
Yeah.
limp, and his legs were completely crossed. So he just super pompous. But we go out to this bar, and before we go out, he puts on a fucking a crop top, and I was like,
Hell yeah.
I said, "Excuse me." He's like, No, don't question. It's good. It's fine. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, just wait till we get there.
Looks you dead in the eyes. I get pussy with this, bro.
Oh, he straight up was like, you'll see what happens. And so we go to this bar. It's fucking popping. There are probably good 100, 200 people there just walking around. You can barely move. And we get to a table and he tells us, he's like, hey, if at all there's any trouble and you see something like, you know, I've had sex with this girl and like that's their brother. And if he walks up or whatever, these two girls can't be near each other when I'm talking. He slept around a lot. He was just like, yell out, yee. Like that's just like, so we would yell it out throughout the night and he would literally in the middle of a conversation walk away. But he was in the middle of a conversation with these two girls, that he was trying to pull at the same time. And as they're talking, I'm like, nah, this isn't it. No, fuck it. And they were like rubbing his stomach. And he looked back at me and he just smiled and he nodded and he just kept going back to the conversation.
And
I was
you
like,
said yee.
I was like, you made a fucking crop top actually work. And I'm talking like an actual half of his stomach or
like crop tops from the 80s.
Wild. And I just thought, I was like, is this gonna pick up? It didn't. It was just him that night. And I think he wore it maybe a couple months after that.
Crossed.
I thought it would have been kind of hard to make that
these
happen.
Warped Tour tank tops are gonna really come back hard.
But yeah, not a fan of tank tops on me. Not at all. Crop tops though.
Now crop tops still have potential to come back as a wave. I saw people tweet about it and it go viral. Like, oh, like I wish guys would do this again. And there's pictures of guys in like 70s or 80s and they have like the long flowing hair and then the crop tops and just like happy trail and abs.
Yeah.
And then like the short shorts and high socks, like they're
Happy
killing
trail,
it back then.
abs, long hair, beautiful, looks like a model. Yeah, sure, that works. But
Can't wait to
The
see
average
average Joe's
Joe.
popping that shit.
Yeah. It'll go right out the door. It won't work out that well.
Caleb, what's the worst trend fad you ever participated in?
Like
I love
as-
the pre-giggle before everything because I know a like
I had
flash
a few
of
things fly
memories.
through. Yeah, I had a few things fly through. I don't know. Besides like the infancy of social media trend fads, like those that like everyone partook in, where it was like taking selfies with your eyebrows crunched all the way up and you had like 4 lines on your forehead and your eyes were squinted.
I actually, right when you did that, I was like, I can pull up the exact photo that I see in my head.
Yeah, like those, but like one of like the worst ones was just in high school. Like I did not give 2 shits how I looked. Like besides my hair, that was it. Everything else was just like, I'm just going to wear this today. And then I walked out the house and I was fine with it. I did not care. You would see me walking around with like a red striped shirt and plaid shorts. And I did not give a fuck.
She's so disgusted right now.
I'm not though because there's an outfit that I want to wear, which is like a.
See, I'll stop you right there because that is way more thinking than I put into it.
And I'm done. Never mind. There goes my outfit.
What's the outfit?
Nope, can't say it now. It's cheetah
Child.
print pants with a blackish, like a crop top, kind of like I'm wearing, and a cardigan that's like a reddish, greenish, Christmassy looking plaid. But both of those prints together, I think.
See, I can see that being pulled off, but I'm wearing, and the t-shirt was probably too small also.
Yeah.
But like dark red, dark red, light red, and then
Orange.
like white shorts with like blue and red plaid. And I'm like, yeah, stripes and plaid. Sure.
That
I don't
works.
care. Old, dirty Vans.
You should
Yep.
have gone to fit them.
Yeah, that would have saved a lot of, that would have saved me. But no, I figured it out eventually.
One of the funniest, no, not really funny. It's actually not funny at all.
Good for you for pulling that back because if it wasn't funny,
wasn't
that would have
funny.
fucking sucked.
But I knew I wanted to go to FITM like pretty early in high school. And you know how FITM would always have those stupid people coming into like your classes? I would get like, it was when Snapchat like first came out, like Snapchats or text messages of like the girl talking about FITM. And someone sent me a picture saying the girl's talking about FITM, and I'm about to just yell at her and be like, "You already got one. She's in room. Blah 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 blah. Go talk to her. Leave us alone."
Like army recruiters.
Yeah, that's how they were though, because they were like once a week and they were consistent.
I remember that. Yeah, it was a big deal. It's the only reason I knew about FITM was because the FITM troops would come into class and try to recruit you
And
into
they
the draft.
always had the most haggard girl repping a fashion college who has like no degree, has no like nothing. She's not talking about
She just
anything.
wears a hat.
Yeah, she has a FITM lanyard, and that's it. And all of a sudden, she's like repping the school. That always bugged me.
Yeah.
Going through your old Instagram stuff, and there was nothing worth talking about.
Oh
That's why
yeah,
I was
no,
on my phone the whole time.
there was some shit that I took down a while ago. But like I also had the Bieber cut fad. I had the long hair down to like my fucking eyes that I'd like
I
fucking
think I remember
head whip.
you like that. Like we didn't really know each other till this past year, but I like knew of you.
It was like the first half of my freshman year, and that was it.
I don't know.
And then
No,
after
probably
that, I cut it all off and revealed that, yes, I do have a head. It is behind that mop.
When you cut off your hair, because I remember cutting off mine, and like the sun touched it for like touched your forehead for the first time in a long time. Did it feel different? Do you remember the feeling?
Oh, well, yeah, it was a huge fucking difference. But one of the things that I could not, like, just, you know how like you make a big life change like that as like a high school kid, it's a big deal. And one of the things that I couldn't just like snap my fingers and transition over into the short hair life was I couldn't get rid of the hair flick for like a couple weeks. So I was literally walking down the sidewalk looking like I had some fucking form of like a twitch because I'd just be like with the fucking faux hawk.
I know. And dude, anything that ever touched your face, you would just do that because it was like
you think you just
you're taking a
flick it
shower,
away.
you just kept fucking doing
Like you're
that.
a fucking horse. I remember vividly walking down my neighborhood, and it was like within the first week of me getting this haircut, and these like two pretty girls drove by in a Jeep, and I was like, what am I doing?
I remember going to school the next day after getting my haircut, and this chick, I'll never forget it. She was like, "Oh, you're actually really good looking," and I was like,
Actually,
Dude, the amount of
"That fucking hurt."
The amount of compliments on attractiveness that you got after cutting all that hair off was like, what? Why did I wait? Why did I wait this long?
Dude, I was so close to having a great haircut for so long. Like the hair I have now, all I had to do, because it goes down to like here, all I had to do was chop off 2 inches and shave off the sides. And I would have had the style that everyone's into now. So stupid. That couldn't even think about it. The worst fucking haircut I ever got was like the top stayed long and the back kind of stayed long and went into almost like a weird
Rat tail?
V rat tail. And then the sideburns stayed sharp and long, but they cut around the ears.
So you had like a lizard hugging your head.
It looked so. I still have the photo
I'm
on
picturing
Facebook.
a lizard just.
I still have the photo on Facebook. It's so fucking bad, dude. And I'm upset that nobody ever was just like, "Hey, just cut it off. It's over. Just let it be."
Do you have any cringy fads?
All of it.
All of it?
All
Were
of
you
it.
all raw XD?
Not XD, but I was pretty
She was
sceney.
raw.
I was pretty sceney weenie. Like
Teeny weeny?
I was, but like no, I wasn't though. I was fake sceney weenie. I had like dark. And see, I wouldn't call it sceney weenie, but I would call it very broho. It was dark, pitch black hair, and I had two chunky, like unwell, chunky platinum blonde streaks.
Oh my gosh.
And then I would get the platinum blonde and tease it like the world is made of hairspray, slick it back, and then it looked like the bump was all blonde and the rest was all black. And it was
Jesus. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
there was
was
some seeny weeny stuff in there.
it was very bro.
You had super teased hair.
I was rocking like Metal Militia.
Yeah, that's what got me in high
Nick
school.
was like,
Oh,
Oh yeah.
she doesn't listen to any of
Nick,
the
put your
actual
pants
bands.
back on.
So here's like the when it was that.
Oh my god.
No, that's not the bad haircut. That's the bad haircut.
Oh my god.
And it was like sharp.
Just everything was pointy on your head except the top of your fucking head.
Dude, I can't believe I ever fucking had hair like I look at my face. I keep all that shit to never let anything bad happen like that again.
oh, I tell my mom all the time, I'm like, you should go to jail for letting me have this hair.
You should go to jail.
Like, why?
And she was like, why would I do that? Like, you just make up your own mind.
Have you guys ever
have your
CPA
own
should have
style.
knocked your door down.
Have you ever looked at like
I would walk willingly today and just be like, see that haircut you gave me? I'm leaving.
Pay for it.
have you ever looked at
She was like,
2012?
"Finally."
2010 to 12? Everybody looked like shit.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And
adults, kids, teenagers.
And ironically, at the same time that fad was going on, the only other fad option you had was the Obey shuffler fad going on, where you wore like the Obey hat and the Obey shirt and the like red Vans, and you just shuffled the swag fags. Yes,
I didn't want to say
I'll
it.
say it. I don't care. That was the coined term, was swag fags, and it was that. And then the RAR XD, and that was it. And then there was just like the weird antisocial kids who
and then you
looked
had
the
like
same now.
your average dudes that just went and picked anything out of their fucking closet.
Yeah.
And
Then
so
you had
this
me.
was-
Then you had me, and it was like, this was on sale, so that's what my mom got me. You guys want my lunch?
Hey, beats the honestly, none of those styles work. So really, we were all trash at some point. But fuck, man, if you really look at that year, like people, adults, I'm talking like guys that wore suits and have like big jobs and whatever the fuck, they had the shittiest haircuts, and everybody looked awkward, and it was just like, what were we all thinking?
I think a part of it too was like we grew up as kids during that time era, which means our parents were like already established as adults and involved in the 90s when shit was so bad style wise. It was just fucking awful. It was top ramen haircuts and denim everything.
Top ramen haircuts?
and
What the fuck is a top ramen haircut?
do you remember Justin
Justin
Timberlake?
Timberlake.
The fucking
bleach blonde.
Yes.
The bleach
okay,
blonde
with the
crunchy
frosted
hair.
tip. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that, and then
I've never heard that term.
and then it was like denim button up, denim jacket, denim pants, denim shoes.
Man.
And that was like what the red carpet celebrities were wearing. And then
you
it
know
was
what
like
makes me
pink and
fucking-
green, electric, everything.
What makes me angry about it? I'm sorry. I had a long day. What makes me really fucking angry about all of it is it's all coming back. But now it's starting to look good. Like the rain, not rain. They are raincoats. They're like the fucking super color. You have one. The super colorful, like multicolored.
Oh yeah, like the
rain jackets.
It's like 90s inspired, but it's not 90s.
Yeah, but it's pretty fucking much there. And all we had to do back then was throw black jeans on it with maybe either shoes that matched.
yeah, literally. Just stop wearing denim with fucking
denim.
everything.
Denim was the problem. Like dad jeans. It was dad jeans.
It was denim, but then there was also like that like phase of like everything had to be made of clear plastic. Like whether it was like your backpack or like your pencil box or like people had like fucking like celebrities wearing like clear plastic jackets.
Yeah,
And it was just like, there's nothing good. The cars in the 90s are fucking disgusting. Everything in that.
Hey, shout out to PT Cruiser.
Dude, like, have you seen, Danny and I were talking about this the other day. We were at Wingstop and she made like a side comment about how like much she despises like the middle generation of Camaros.
Oh God, they're so
there's
fucking
the
ugly.
Transformers Camaros where it's
Yeah.
like Bumblebee and it's badass, and then there's the old Camaros where they're muscle cars and they're badass, and then there's the dwarpy little fucking brother in the middle that is disgusting. And you had
God-awful.
people dressing like the way they were dressing and driving those things. and
That
and then
ugly
so-
champagne color.
Oh my God, bro. And then so you wouldn't be shocked if these people went and fucking procreated and popped out with swag fag obey shirt kids and the RAR XD generation. Like that's what happened. I'm so glad we got out of it and now look decent. And now high school kids dress like fucking adults. Like they all like,
Dude, these girls
Don't, like-
with their fucking makeup and
oh
and how-
yeah, they can make themselves add like 10 years.
Why are you 14 and look like you're in your 20s? I literally know people in their 20s that look younger than you. Like that's so.
Present.
present?
I mean, you fit your age now, but even you were like doing heavy makeup at one point.
Yeah, and I looked older then than I do now.
yeah.
To some extent, because the heavy makeup back then was very like.
It was intense. It was
intense, but the makeup they
one
do
knew-
now is
I
like
didn't- at least I
it's
didn't know what
heavy,
makeup was.
but it looks light. Like
Yeah.
it takes 2 hours and there's a lot to it.
Yeah, but it's
it
more
looks
minimalist.
natural, and it's like whoa,
Yeah. And
how do you look that old and take it off? And it's literally a fucking child.
yeah, and oh my God.
Millie,
and, like
Millie
my-
Bobby Brown is
Yeah.
a perfect example of that shit.
And like my little brother Noah, like that fool dresses great. He
am
has
so
great
annoyed.
fucking hair. The only thing that like makes him like humble and mortal is the teenage acne stage that everyone has to go through where you get pimples. Like, haha, you're not fucking perfect at 14.
There's a video of Dylan, one of the guests that was on here, friend of ours, who got really fucking drunk at the fair and was screaming at Noah, who is 14, and he's like, why the fuck do you look like that?
He's like, why do you look good? Fuck you.
He's like,
I had the Justin Bieber haircut. Fuck you.
I had fucking braces. I looked like shit. And he was going hard. And the whole time, Noah, the camera goes over to him. He's cracking up, laughing. Beautiful. Just great looking teeth. Great looking kid.
And then on top of that, like they get the haircuts right. Like they don't have like the weird haircut stage of like the
your brother's got beautiful hair.
And it's just like, all right, like y'all didn't get this stage now.
No,
cool.
They didn't.
Fuck y'all.
He went from
I bring up Nashville once, and now Caleb's like, y'all this, y'all that.
I say y'all, motherfucker.
I just wanted to put an input because I was feeling a little bit like Joel.
Can we talk about Noah's achievement, his high school achievement, or no?
I don't know what you're talking about, so no.
No, I don't know what it is.
It lasted all of a couple.
No.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to know. But yeah, dude, I don't understand why these fucking kids, how they look the way that they do, how they act the way that they do. Like they act really, because internally they're melting. Their brains are
internally
mush.
they're screaming.
But because
for
social
attention.
media says that they have to look cool and act cool, they do. Which we had a handful of people like that. I did.
What do you mean?
That like were super composed and like kept themselves together, and they never
there were those random
weird
gems of people in high school where it's like, why are you like
perfect
yeah, about everything? Like,
yeah, I can name a couple, but I'm not going to. But
it's like the perfectly straight, bright white teeth, and like, no, I never had braces. It's like, oh no, like I don't have a skincare routine. I'm just smooth.
Good looking.
I rub the greasiest French fry all over my face.
Yeah,
go to bed,
and they're fucking like shredded in perfect proportion, and they're just like eating garbage the entire
like they're
time.
good looking, but on top of that, they're like quiet. And they
genuinely
know,
nice.
Genuinely nice.
Yeah.
And they know what to
I think
say.
me and
Not
you might be
bothered by
thinking of the
people.
same person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. RG?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. So
Everyone's like smooth, guys. We all know who that is.
you know.
I know who he is.
Okay. Yeah. And it was just like, damn, you've just been like that since you were. I remember looking up to that dude in high school, same age. And I was just like, I want to be like you. And it wasn't until I was in my 20s where I was like, go ahead.
Nick's over here with like his like fucking haircut and like dark clothes. He's like, I want to wear your skin. And he's like, yeah, man, if that's what makes you happy,
Here.
here's some of it.
But I don't know. It took me until I was like in my 20s. Like I thought I had it together when I was 18. I had it together somewhat, but it was not until my 20s where I was like, oh, this is exactly who I am. I'm cool with it. I'm fine.
Yeah, there's a bit of identity crisis that
Yeah.
goes on in the transition.
I had no idea who I was until it took me leaving California. Like Bible. Had no I was such a cocky son of a bitch. Dude, like it was
Still are.
but a little bit better.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Nicer.
But now it's humor.
Yeah.
Now you're actually serious
It's
about
humor.
what you say.
Okay, it's humor and
Now it's
confidence
funny.
and not cockiness.
Now it's funny.
The humor part is the cockiness, but it's just confidence in oneself. So yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, when she says like Nick, like go fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
Now it's a joke. Before you can't say the same.
Fucked up.
I'm having PTSD of my own self. Dude, I was such a cocksucker. I wore heels to Lancaster High School. Who?
Okay, you literally say Linecaster.
Yeah, that's why I said it earlier. I was like, can you repeat that for me real
I
quick?
wear heels to Lancaster.
Lancaster.
Lancaster, California. My name's Larissa, and I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for about approximately 4.5 years.
4.5.
4.5.
Where I worked for Florida Georgia Line, and I did their social media.
And I'm
If
just
you
a
can't-
Southern belle.
If you came back with that accent,
I wouldn't be here right now because my throat would have been slit.
yeah, that's just not. It doesn't fit you.
Hey guys, we're throwing a party. Are you inviting Yeehaw again?
Yeah.
Hi, y'all.
Oh look,
of a
Sweet Tea's here. Fucking
Sweet
great.
tea.
Wait, that's a sweet nickname.
You know, I
You'd
was
only
actually
get it if you had the accent. Sorry.
thinking if I wanted
Drunk
to
Larissa does get the accent though. It's like
drunk Marissa.
no, Marissa's just hood. We got to give. You haven't even met Southern Belle Larissa, but she needs a whole new nickname because when I get drunk, I start slurring my words, and then as like a cover up, I'm like, oh no, I'm not that drunk. People can't know I'm drunk. Here's an accent, y'all.
Oh God. I've never heard that many A's in the word hi. You were saying
I don't know why it keeps reoccurring in my head, but I got this game for Christmas that we were reading the cards, and I was like, I can go grab that, and that might actually spark up like random.
Yes.
It's a drinking game. I'll show you.
oh, okay, I'm interested.
It's a drinking game. I'm so interested.
A part of me kind of wishes that you moved to Boston and you came back with that accent instead.
Fucking imagine.
I'm walking in.
Hey, I'm coming, you talking to me, I'm gonna beat your ass.
My tiny ass self.
like cholo. And
Yeah.
I
Felt like you were sitting there and your feet were plied. That's how Joel.
Okay, so it's called Buzzed. This is a drinking game that gets you and your friends tipsy. And the whole point of the game, it literally says, and the rules, the card says,
Good one, Nick. Just spelled the whole.
how to play, figure it out. It's very simple. That's all it is. Because it's,
Okay, give me the deck.
Say less, play more.
yeah, here, just take that.
Okay.
And then you, sir, take this, and
This
we'll just
one
read.
I put on my Instagram last night because I saw it and was like, I feel attacked. I'm going to just go ahead and eat shit now.
She also says Saul.
I know, I heard the L's in there.
It says, drink if your Instagram bio includes the city or state you live in. By the way, nobody cares.
Like some of these
Cool.
are actually really fun.
Cool. I'm going to cry.
Like, which would you rather give up?
This is funny.
Oral sex or cheese? Everyone votes the losing team drinks.
Everyone votes the losing team drinks.
Oral sex or
I'm giving up cheese.
Yeah,
I
cheese.
don't really
give
like
it-
dairy. I think it's bad.
I love cheese, but it doesn't suck my dick. So
Not with that attitude.
No. with that. Go ahead.
this one just says the youngest player takes a drink. Don't blame us. Blame your parents for not fucking sooner.
Oh, see, you got one.
Players wearing all black. This isn't a funeral. Drink up, Nick.
All right, fair enough.
Here's wearing all black.
Which
You go. I don't.
which player is most likely to get high before a job interview? The person with the most votes drinks,
Caleb.
for sure.
I don't smoke.
I know, but I just feel
you
like
would. Like if you did.
if there
I'd say
had to
Nick.
be,
I say
Really?
Nick. You talk about being high on here more often than I do.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it before an interview.
I feel like he
if
gets too into his
one of us
head.
was-
I.
No, I'm not saying you would. I'm saying if any of us were to somehow crack where we had to sit there, I'd probably put my vote on you. No, I'd put my vote on me.
Yeah.
I
Thank
had to
you.
think about it.
Thank you.
I'd be like, yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
This one says the player with the most broken bones takes a drink for each break.
Sir.
Brandon would have
Oh, yeah.
killed it.
He's probably already drunk right now.
Oh yeah. No, never broken a bone.
Never?
Never.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, and so did everyone on the mics. Or
Guys.
everyone on the listening.
Big
Jesus.
one, idiot. Everyone on the mics.
That it? That's all I got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, cool. Which player needs a hug the most?
Wow, Nick, you're getting all these votes.
Fuck you.
Shut up, Nick. You're in love.
In a fight between
He
the
was
youngest
like, it's been 10 years, but it's still true.
in a fight between the youngest and oldest players, who would win? Between you and me.
I have no idea.
I honestly don't know.
I have no fighting experience, but I have like weight on you. So, but you probably beat me.
I used to fight my brothers, so yeah.
But
I got
okay, so
some.
this is my vote. Ready? I feel like Caleb would win because no offense, not because of like he can kick your ass, but Nick's rage is just fueling up, and then right before he punches you, he's just gonna go and cry.
What the fuck is wrong with you? That's a clip. I was going through my head. I'm like, I know that I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be thinking about anything else but the conversation. But I honestly, because of the clips now, I'm like trying to pay attention of like that time frame right there. Like trying to keep that in mind the whole
So
time.
basically, he's saying that this podcast is not organic anymore.
No, it's all framed and everything that we're talking about is fucking fake.
I got a little coffee on my script. Can I get another one?
On your script?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Which player has the best smile?
Yeah.
I don't. My smile's the worst. I'd say yours is probably
Second place.
Yeah.
717.
You want to just
we'll
explain
clear that up real quick.
Yeah, go for that.
Larissa and I are cooler than everybody else because we have the same birthday.
That's it. That's literally all it is.
Literally it.
That's all it is.
And
July
when they-
17th, guys.
And they've known of each other for
We've known of each other for years.
since high school.
I can go back on Twitter 4 years ago, and I have been telling Caleb, let's have a joint,
birthday party, yeah.
every year on our birthday. And
Hey,
we've
I
never-
tried this last year, and that it still didn't work.
Yeah, no, it's still.
But they
whatever.
finally met and hung out for the first time, and just at some point I had to sign out of the conversation because I was just
It's
like,
been
I can't.
multiple times we've had to sign out of the conversation.
Just being the first time. Like I
yeah,
Oh,
the first
that
time we
was
ever met,
bad.
yeah.
That was bad.
I couldn't keep up. And then on top of that, I was the fucking butt end of the joke for like 2 hours straight. It felt like, shout out to Rachel. She was back. And I'm also scared for when she comes back and all of us hang out.
Oh, God.
It's going to be like, I think that's where I'll actually break.
Probably.
I have a feeling like
Probably,
that's what I'm
yeah.
just
The
going
one
to
time
like,
we get Nick crying on camera,
no, it's not going to be crying as much as it is just going to be like, guys, can we please just stop? Like, I really don't.
voice shaking.
I'm not feeling too hot. Pretty
I'm feeling
sure.
kind of homicidal, guys. Can we please stop?
Nick, where'd you get that gun?
Stop.
I brought it just in case he's.
Those who have ever fooled around in a movie theater drink twice, then get a fucking room.
What does fooled around
In a movie theater?
fall into, though? Like
I don't know, like
Any
making
type
out?
of- No.
did your hand fuck her? I don't know.
Did your hand fuck her?
Not you. Not finger bang. Not finger blast, which is my favorite.
You straight Jeff Dunham somebody?
Who the fuck came up with finger blasting, dude? Like,
That's great.
what metal
An
militia
aggressive-
wearing
an aggressive ass
fucking
person.
alcoholic came up with? Oh shit! No, that one's boring.
What was I going to say? I was totally going to say something. Yeah. Here's an interesting one. When you guys are talking about, like, let's say in a hypothetical, you're in some sort of a romantic interest with somebody,
Okay.
and you tell them, not the person you're talking to, but say you're talking to your friend about this person,
Okay.
and you say, we're talking. What do you define talking as?
I'm not a good person to ask. I have a very weird idea of like.
This is why I ask,
I-
because
Yeah.
I've come to realize nobody fucking knows what talking is.
So I had this conversation with Patrick and all of my brothers, and so Steven's going to be listening to this, and we were on the same page with our grandpa, and it was just like the way Patrick thinks about it is so fucking weird. He's just like, I don't know, like I met my girlfriend, and then she was my girlfriend. Like, there's no talking, there's no dating for him. He's like, dating is your girlfriend. I said, no, dating is dating. There's talking, and then there's like dating, and then there's officially being
in a
something.
relationship.
Yeah, talking is like, you text, you
You're like getting
dating-
to know each other.
yeah, dating is like going on dates and like hanging out, extended periods of time and specifically going to hang out with each other. Those can be like, that's kind of like dating, but talking and dating.
I think talking is exactly like dating. You guys just haven't put
Gone on
a
a date.
like that, and it's like you guys haven't said like, "Hey, I'm only going to places with you."
Well, that's,
So that's what I was
exclusive.
Well,
that's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
was
yeah. But
going
I
to
think
say
it's
is,
like
so if
I
there's,
think dating is like it's like talk. Yeah, we all know talking, dating, relationship.
Right.
It's like talking is like you're getting to know each other. Dating is the exact same thing, but
Right.
now you're just like a little bit more exclusive. Like, yeah, I still want to get to know you, and I want to like go out to places with you, but like, no,
I'm not taking you home to meet my mother.
exactly. Like, you're not meeting my
Darlene, sorry.
family, but I'm also not going to the movies or the mall or Mulligan's or I don't know with
Mulligan's.
other people.
So
And then a relationship is like, oh no, like I want the world to know that we were going out to those places exclusively, and I want it.
So
It's
a
more
relationship in your head is just putting it out to the world, like letting the world know.
well, it's basically, if I can speak for her, it's basically, from what I'm
You can speak for
understanding,
me.
you are you are confident enough to know that this is what you want, to where you can then start involving like other people,
The outside world.
Yeah.
the outside world
Right.
with it, because it's such a drag to have to introduce somebody as yours to everyone and then realize like a week later that you don't want to do it, and then
Yeah.
have to
Right.
explain to everyone that what happened.
Yeah, nothing is like the worst than like introducing a guy to your friends and being like, I really like him, da 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 da. And then like
find
a
out
month
he's a
and then a
murderer.
month later,
He has a gun just for funsies.
Find out that he has your other phone.
okay, someone's been watching too much of you. No, and then just like a month later, introducing them to a new person, be like, this is the one. I
Oh,
really like
dude,
this
yeah.
one.
So
pretty rough.
so with the line we've created
Yes.
of talking, dating, relationship, where does the line of exclusive fall for you? Nick, first.
For me personally,
Yes.
dating.
Dating.
That's where, like, in my head, when I'm dating somebody, like, it's just no reason to go on dates with other people. Like, my mind is made up from that point. Now it's just a slow coast kind of thing.
And what about you?
What was the question again?
Where does the line of exclusivity fall?
It's like dating, but on the like the very end of dating, about to get into a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where it's at. Like talking, dating. Here's the tail end of dating.
Like, you still go on dates with other people when you're dating. Like, dating is,
If we're using the definition of dating as going on dates,
yeah,
and nothing
You're
more than
going
just
on-
going on dates, then do you date more than one person at a time?
I have, yeah. I have for sure not known. Like, there was like talking to two people at the same time, and then they both were like, "Well, let's go on dates," and I was like, "On," and like that has never happened before in my life. I remember talking to a friend, and they were like, "Just go on dates, like." Go have dinner. Go to the movies. Like, how do you know if you're gonna like someone if you're not if you don't go out of the
Right.
four walls of which is your living room?
I
Yeah.
don't think there's
Like-
any problem with dating multiple people. As long as you're not. Bathroom? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, except you just there's video now. You don't have to. Okay. I think when it comes down to my personal thing, it's just because, well, I think it's a case per case thing. Once again, with that fucking term, because like back when I was just sleeping around, I didn't really give a shit like who I was sleeping. You know, everybody knew. Like, okay, I'm stumbling over my words. The people that I was sleeping with knew that I was sleeping with other people.
Yeah.
And knew that there were sometimes I was going on dates with other people, until one of them was just like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. So it's either like we become exclusive or we stop. And it was just like, oh, okay. That's where like that was different. But now how I play it in my head is like, it's too exhausting talking to multiple people. It really is. There's not enough time in the day to like be thinning myself out between two different people. So it's like, if I have an interest in someone, I'm like, okay, cool. If the conversation's going somewhere, great. If it doesn't, then I just stop talking to them. But when it comes down to like, oh, okay, like you're the person that I want to talk to, you're the person that I want to go and do things with. We're not an exact title, so do what you need to do. But I don't know. My mind's pretty much like, all right.
And another thing on top of that, because I've seemed to notice that our generation has a problem with strictly defining these like relationship terms. So another thing is, how do you know when you're hanging out and how do you know when you're on a date? Do you have to call it a date for it to be a date?
I'm super old fashioned. It has to be like, do you want to go out on a date? Because other than that, I'm like, there's so many
It's
like
so weird to.
So if they say like, oh, let's just like, hey, like, do you want to come with me to Mulligan's? And they never use the word date, then it's just hanging out.
for me, it's like there's so many fuck boys in the world that half the guys that are in our generation are like, hey, want to go to Mulligan's? And it's like, cool, let me like show you around like a show dog, but like I won't ever get into a relationship with you. And then there's some guys who are like, hey, yeah, no, like, do you want to go to Mulligan's? Like, I actually want to like go and have a good time with you and da 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 da. And like you can almost tell just like by the way that they ask what's a date and what's not. But at this like just growing up, I'm like, if y'all don't ask me on like do you want to go on a date to dinner somewhere this time, this place?
Like, we're adults.
Yeah.
You just make it clear kind of thing.
No one needs to play those games
Now,
anymore.
to answer your question about like if you're just hanging out and it becoming, yeah, I think you kind of have to make it clear. Like, are you just hanging out or are you on a date? Like, just, oh, come with me to the mall. I need to buy stuff. It's not a date.
One of my friends has coined the term that I am the best at going on non-dates. This guy asked me to go to the fair and I was like, yeah, let's go. I had like just kind of met him and he was a really cool guy, like still super dope guy. And we like went to the fair and we had a really good time. And like, I guess now looking back, there was a bunch of like flirty moments, but I was like, cool, okay, drop me off at home. And like nothing ever happened. I was like, all right, that was a really fun, like, that was really cool hanging out. Like I needed that. And then all of a sudden they were like, you went on a date with him? And I was like, no, we just hung out. And they were like, no, he thought it was a date. And I was
That's
like,
what I'm saying, dude. People like, and it doesn't seem to be that way with our parents' generation because they were all like you said, old fashioned and like
Yeah.
traditional, where it's like you go to her house and you pick her up and you have her home before 9 and you meet the dad and then you go out on a date and you come home on time and all that stuff.
yeah.
And now it's like, want to go to the fair? Sure.
Don't even come
flirty
up to the-
moments, just us hanging out, grand old time, get back home. And you have to figure
Fist
out
stabbed
whether
him a
or
little
not
bit at the end of the night.
And then you have to figure out whether or not it was a date because nobody defines anything.
I don't know. And I feel like that's just a lack of understanding with that person. Like, it's almost childish to not call it what it is.
Because I had a certain dynamic I was observing amongst peers where people were quote unquote talking, but I knew for a fact that person A and person B had much different definitions of talking.
I know this one.
And so person A was like, yeah, we can talk, meaning like the more loose definition of talking, like, yeah, we're talking to each other, we'll
call
text,
each other,
Yeah.
we can go
flirt.
hang out, yeah, we can flirt, blah, blah, blah.
You're entertaining me.
But there's
yeah,
no
yeah. If we kiss, we
exclusivity.
kiss, like stuff like that.
yeah.
And then the other person B, thought talking was we're exclusive. And
That's a large jump.
That's a very large jump. And the problem is both of them went with the assumption that they both use the same
But
talking.
they were on the same page.
Yeah. And so when they're like, so if they were to be like, so I just want to like clear the air, like, we're talking, right? And they'll be like, yes. And they're like, cool, glad to know. And then they
then they were
never
like-
actually hashed out what they meant by that.
Yeah.
And one of one of the people, person B, got a very rude awakening when they realized that talking didn't mean exclusive, and it wasn't like they saw this person A out on a date with somebody else or something like that. But I was talking with person B, and they were just like, "Yeah, no, like, you know, we're talking, we're a thing." And I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Well, like, we're not seeing anybody else." And I was like, "Do they think that?" And he's like, "Well, I would assume so." And I was like, have you ever checked if they think that? Because last I remember you telling me, person B, they said very specifically like, oh, I don't want to jump into anything too serious just right now. I we can talk, but I don't want it to be anything too serious. And I guarantee if you were like, so do you want to be exclusive? They would say no. And
I remember not having the full information on that and being pissed at person A because person B felt bad about everything. And I was like, oh, you didn't talk about
No.
it.
Moral
and
of
so-
the story: communicate.
define
people.
that's what I said. I was like, you have to define what you're talking about, because if you just say, oh yeah, we're talking, then it can mean anything. Just like how you say, like both of you have both said right now, like, yeah,
Two
it's cool.
different
It's
things,
cool
yeah.
to go. It's cool to go out on dates with multiple people. You can date multiple people. However, if you went to someone and said, oh yeah, we're dating, and then you go on a date with somebody else, they will straight up be like, I got cheated on.
Mm-hmm.
That person's a scumbag. They told me we were dating, and then I saw them out on a date with somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's like you guys, everybody that is our age that has this thing,
yeah.
that you guys need to figure out what words mean what and stick with those definitions and not change them.
Yeah.
Because it causes a lot of turmoil amongst romantic interests
Right.
when people are out here saying, oh no, we're talking. Oh yeah, we're dating. No, but we're not exclusive. But we're fucking. But if they fuck someone else, I'd be pissed. But we're not exclusive. We're just talking.
All that is so fucking confusing.
It's
Just figure
it's
it
a
out.
big mess.
All you have to do is literally come up with the definitions together. You can have your own fucking
Yeah,
definitions.
you can have your own subjective definitions just as long as you guys share the same ones.
We're fucking giggling and boopity bopping together. Like, you can come up with your own fucking shit, and those are two different meanings. As long as you both know what they mean, you're good. But if you go, hey, we're talking, and the other person's like, hey, we're dating, and you think it's the same thing, and they
How we
think
were
they're two
giggling
different
and
things, or
boopity-bopping.
boopity boppiting.
Yeah, and I noticed this like kind of issue earlier, I think back in high school, with the lack of defining terms when you'd be around the boys and the boys would be like, oh yeah, we hooked up. And everyone's like, oh shit. And they'd go tell their friend and be like, yeah, they fucked. And like, did they fuck or did they hook up? Well, aren't those the same thing? Well, no, they said they hooked up.
Did
They
they
just made
fight?
out in their car.
Right.
But is that hooking up?
Yeah, in high school, I do remember the phrase "hooking up" being very,
Loosely
Vague.
used.
yeah,
Having
it's
multiple
very
different
vague. Like
contexts.
I was always like, "Yeah, we hooked up." Like I kissed him at a party.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like someone could be like literally, they could have an entire platonic day with somebody, and then they walk them up to their porch, and they have like a 30-second makeout sesh. Be like, oh my god, at the end of the night we hooked up.
See, my
And
whole
then-
thing was like hooked up was sex. Like, in my
See,
Well,
head,
we
for
all know
me-
about your childhood.
she's an avid listener, everybody.
I'm an avid friend.
But
Okay.
but like, and then at the same time, that like someone within the same friend group can go and have like just like musty, filthy, animalistic sex and be like, yeah, we hooked up, and you guys are using the same terms, and everybody probably thinks that it's the same
Well,
thing.
most of the reason why I ever used hooked up for sex was just due to the fact that, like, saying that back then was such a taboo thing. Like, oh, we had sex. Like, for some reason, you couldn't
you didn't
say
want to
that.
say we had sex,
Right.
So you wanted to use a
would just be
cushion
like,
term.
oh, we hooked up. Mm-hmm. And everything else is like, yeah, kissed her, made out with her, finger blasted her. I'm so
Well,
stoked.
that's the thing. Like, if you hang out with a girl and you guys are like making out on and off throughout the day, and then you get head, are you going around saying you hooked up?
Oh, I got head.
No, but like before, when you don't want to like be say you don't want to like be too explicit. What do you
See,
say?
but that's what I'm saying is, like, I didn't care about anything being explicit other than saying
word
we had
sex.
sex. That's why hooked up for me
very
was
odd.
sex. I know it was, but that's how I used it. So when people said that, I was like, what did you do? And they're just like, oh, like, we made out. I'm like, okay. My definition's far different.
Dude, yeah, there's somebody out there who
Who's realizing that hooked up doesn't mean
there's somebody out there that will look you dead in the eyes and be like, yeah, we hooked up and now we're talking, and you have to figure out what the fuck that means.
Yeah. That's why I don't know. I'm always just like,
Did
what do
you
you mean?
kiss and now you're exclusive, or did you fuck and now you're texting?
Yeah, exactly. All of this came to mind when it was like, oh, like if you fooled around in a movie in a movie
Yeah.
theater, take a drink, and I'm like, oh, great. What the fuck does that define
In
as?
my head, fooled around is just like, I don't know. I guess. Oh god. Whew, sorry. Do I think fooled around and hooked up are two
I
different
like
things?
this card. Oops. I just. Anyways, vote on how to properly say caramel. Losing team drinks. Caramel.
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 All right. I'm glad we're not a bunch of fucking hooligans. If you say caramel,
If you say caramel, please stop listening to our podcast.
Pirates of the.
Caramel.
You know what's really fucking funny? Do you remember having that exact conversation like very recent? Oh, was
Yeah.
that? Yeah, we did have that. And I think that was the exact thing you fucking said, too.
Probably. I'm not original at all.
Recycled jokes.
Pi-
Me too.
Pirates of the...
Caribbean.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean.
All right. And
Caribbean.
But then you go and visit the Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Yeah,
correct.
of course.
When you go to the area, where do you go, Larissa?
What was the question?
The islands are called the
Caribbean.
Caribbean Islands?
Caribbean.
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 They're
Yeah.
only Caribbean when you hear...
the Caribbean Islands.
They're only Caribbean if is in the background.
That is
Every other
such a good
context
theme
is
song.
Caribbean.
Why do you think it's pronounced differently?
Because
Like,
I think it was just one of those things
Is it
that
like a
had,
movie thing, or just
Yeah.
it just rolled off the tongue a little bit better?
I think it was like Caramel and Caramel, but the movie helped solidify one side being Caribbean. And then I think the proper pronunciation is Caribbean.
I've never heard someone call it, like, you say
we're also-
caramel, right? Caramel.
Caramel.
Or caramel.
Caramel.
Never caramel.
Ew.
Yeah, right? Right?
That's your only
or
record
caramel.
ale.
Or Carmel.
Ew, caramel. I want to smack the shit out of
Caramel.
some. Would you like some caramel?
No, Carmel sounds like the guy that asks, like, "Where's my hug?"
Where's
That's a name, and he asked for "Where's my hug?"
So hooking up and fooling around are in my head, two different things.
Hooking up and fooling around.
Yeah. Fooling around is everything before hooking up.
And hooking up is sex for you.
Yeah.
Or hooking up is like making out for me, and then it's like fooling around.
Fooling around also could be used in the sense that like we were fucking over the span of a couple weeks. We were fooling around.
Huh.
Yeah.
Mine is hooking up over X amount of weeks. Odd. Very
How
odd.
was it?
Yeah, and
Communicate.
that's why people you just have to say we're fucking
We're fucking.
or she sucked me dick.
Me dick.
She sucked me dick.
Too much pirates talk. Ark.
Did you just say arc? I hate you both. So much. I quit.
She sucked me dick, matey.
I no longer want to manage this podcast.
I don't want to
anymore.
manage this shit show.
After
Podcast
fucking-
shit.
I love how you decided that you wanted to manage the podcast
then you gave it
after
to me?
Brandon's. After Brandon's, I would have quit. I would have just been like, dude, that fucking clip you have.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Brandon naked and he put a Santa hat on his dick, I was like, "This is the kind of shit I want to be involved with."
This is right up my alley.
For anybody
You guys
that
said put it on
listened to,
Pornhub, and I said, "I'll get it there."
oh, dude, we still need to do that.
We definitely need to do that. What was I going to say? Fucking every moment during Brandon's episode, and for people who are relatively new and haven't heard it, it's Brandon Milan. Every single time he was like, "Oh yeah," he said that, I winced. I was already preparing for the worst because "Oh yeah, no, I would get my shit railed." Like
100% would get pegged
Yeah,
in the
100%.
fucking 100%
oh yeah,
everything.
I 100% like dick in my ass, and it's like Brandon.
Hey, mom. Like,
And Larissa's like, I need to be in charge of this.
Dude, I kept rewatching the
yes.
first part of our 1 minute clip with him where we bleeped everything. And I watched your face and you laughed more and more and kept covering like with a shirt very slowly. Your slow reaction into laughing that hard and being like frozen. My slow reaction was I put the beer down and I was just like,
well, during
and then the Jesus part came out, but it was just like pure shock. Like he's not stopping and yours is pure joy. He's not stopping.
Well, it's because I was already around that shit so much that I was like, Brandon, your shock factor has been pulverized at this point and does not exist anymore. You cannot surprise me with anything you say at this point. So now it's just like, oh, he's really saying this into our microphones.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
What were we going to say?
well, like during Brandon's whole episode, where I was sitting behind the camera, me and Caleb had a direct eye line.
Straight line for eye contact.
Every time something happened, I'm like, no, don't laugh, because Caleb's looking, and then he's gonna laugh, and then like he's gonna look out in the distance, but like the people in the camera don't know what he's looking at,
Yeah.
because like they don't know I'm here yet, and
But there were still a few glances where I just give her a look like, Jesus fucking
yeah, it
Christ.
was like we both looked at Brandon, and then we looked at each other, and I just went,
Nope.
oh, but in my head I was like, yes.
My reactions are always so over the top with nearly everything. Like that's why I'm an easy target for the shit talking. That's why like that's why when it comes down to like people telling jokes and whatnot, like I laugh at fucking anything. But during Brandon's, like as I was watching my reactions and your reactions, yours are laughing at everything. Mine are like, dude, what the fuck? And that's what Brandon wants. He wants a mixture of both.
Yeah,
he wants chaos.
Feeds off of it.
He wants chaos and people laughing at the fire with him. Like,
Dude.
that was so much fun. I loved Brandon's. I honestly think we may have for a little while. Probably made our best 1 minute clip with him. Just for a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
that
so
show's funny.
fucking good.
The fucking video I sent you guys of me like crying
Dude.
in my car when I was laughing at us. There was a 5-second moment where all it was were moans, groans, and burps.
Dude.
I'm just like, and I'm like, we are fucking pigs.
He was talking about having wet dreams, and you were like, no, I don't ever think. And then I fucking burped, and he went, oh yeah, burp. And then it was just like, what the fuck is actually happening? And when you turned the camera and you were in tears, by that point, I was already fucking pissing myself laughing. I was in my bed rolling around. I was like, this is the funniest fucking clip we've made after his, obviously, 1 minute.
No.
So good.
The whole episode, I was just like, I don't know why I want to be involved with this, but I do.
But I do. I'm sickened but curious.
Yeah, I was like, my thought process was like, if I could bring this episode to the rise, I can do anything.
This is the lowest of the low. So I have another question, and pertains to the same kind of general area, but not as much on definition. I was talking to a friend recently, and they asked me. They were like, "How do I?" Like they were basically like, how do I get guys to like me? And my response was like, you
be you, motherfucker.
Well, no, I was like, dude, you can pull. Like, it's not even that hard for girls, first of all, but second of all, like you're good looking, you can pull. And they were like, no, how do I get them to like me? They're like, I know how to get guys to fuck.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. But how do you get guys to like you and not just want to fucking dip? And I was like, huh. And it took a little bit more brain power.
I'm sorry. I have to go check and see what that was. I have no idea
Is that
what
not
just
the trash can?
that just crashed and fell in the garage. Was that not okay? Keep going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but like I got concerned for a second. I was like, that's in my house. Go ahead.
So yeah. So if you were giving advice to somebody, and you wanted to, from a guy's perspective, be like, hey, you don't need to teach girls how to get guys to want to fuck. Guys alone in a room want to fuck. So the question would be, how would you give a girl advice to want to get a guy not to just hit it and quit it? Even if she doesn't want...
Genuinely be interested.
Well, not even if she doesn't want anything like romantic wise, just so she doesn't feel like she's used. Like still be my friend after.
Yeah.
What would be your way of going about that?
Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, did you know?
You're like, dear God, please explain.
This was my anonymous question.
I don't know because
guys fucking suck.
Yeah, honestly, it really depends on who you're talking about.
Yeah, it sounds like such an easy question.
Because like you and I, and I'm not talking us up, but we're like we respect people and we respect people's time and like their space and their feelings. Like that's just who we are.
When I was single, I couldn't, with the couple exceptions that changed over time and one party exception, I couldn't hook up with people unless I was friends with them.
See, for me, and this is where what I was explaining earlier, like during the time that I was hooking up with those people, I strictly told them, I said, we are just hooking up. I don't want anything. And I'm sleeping with other people. Like it was right off the fucking bat. It was clear. So
brings us back to communication. Like I've had people literally say, hey, I don't want a relationship. I just going through stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, yeah, same, totally, same.
Right.
And it was great.
Right.
Same page on everything. But then I've had people just like, we flirted. And then like one thing, like he was a little bit more aggro with the whole touchy-feely and me being very vocal. I was just like, fuck, off, dude. Like,
Right.
and then it would like, and then I almost looked to blame because it was like, well, what do you think we're doing? And I'm like, hanging out. From what I thought.
So this isn't a date?
So just go ahead and re-say the question.
A girl asks you, I know how to get guys, I know how to hook up with people.
Correct.
But how do you get them to not use you?
Or like you.
Yeah, how do you get them to just like, even though like, yeah, we fucked
it's
or
not
we
just a
are
hookup.
fucking,
Yeah.
like come hang out as friends. We don't have to just hang out with the sole purpose of fucking, and we also don't have to have the pressure of
I
we
honestly
are
would
dating.
say like don't put out right away. Don't like that keeps keeping people's interests in what could be, or like, oh, I wonder what it's like with that person, honestly keeps them around longer.
But then is that not just like a goal, like an end game? Like,
Yeah, doesn't
like,
that just
is
make it
not
a
just
finish
like,
line flag of
yeah,
like,
like
oh,
challenge
like,
accepted?
I have to
No,
work for
no,
this,
because-
and I did it great.
Yeah.
Because
See you later.
It's one of those things that it could be that way if the guy, like I said, if the guy's shitty, but if he's just thinking that in the beginning, because obviously like, oh, if I hang out with her enough, then I'll just get to sleep with her. Over time, for all you know, you could end up falling for the person. You could end up slipping into their trap, which was exactly what I was told happened with my last relationship. That is what happened.
True.
It started being like a carrot. Fuck you. Started being like a carrot dangling thing, and it was just like, okay, I'll play. And then I started playing, and it was like, oh, okay, now there's feelings there. So it's just one of those things where it's like, don't give them what they want right away, because guys, for the most part, skis bags.
Yeah. I said like, one of the phrases I used was, it's easier to fuck your friends than it is to be friends with someone that you fucked.
Interesting.
Because if that's your end goal is you don't want to feel used, then to try to find someone you're physically attracted to right off the bat, and flirting goes great and you're able to hook up with them, it is so much harder to then force a friendship after that than it is to convert a platonic relationship with somebody that you're already like physically attracted to into fun.
Yeah,
and
what
then
you said
turn
is-
it on or off whenever you want.
What you said is not potentially,
Arguably?
arguably kind of what I was saying, in a sense of you don't fuck someone and then try to be friends with them. You be friends with them, so you don't give them what they want in the
Yeah.
beginning. Just like build something out of it first, then figure out if you want something after that.
Yeah.
That whole ordeal. Because like for all you know, you could be attracted to that person like they're attracted to you. You get to know them, and then you're just like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't
Yeah,
want to actually have
exactly.
sex with you anymore. I've had that happen a couple times where I was just like,
Yeah. I had an instance where there was a girl that I had met. We talked and we were like friends and it was cool and I didn't want anything and I told her that and she knew. She was the same way. And then we hooked up and she switched the fuck up. Like the crazy came out after. And I was like, what the fuck? If I knew you were like this, I wouldn't have been around. And then I fucking dipped.
here's an interesting question for both of you. Do you think, and I guess you can play it both ways depending on what you personally think, and what you've done in your life. Do you think it's better to date a bunch and fool around, hook up, do whatever? Or is it better to just like talk to one person and try and make it, only have like sex with a couple people in your life versus like actually getting out there and experiencing what it is with handfuls of different people?
What's your end goal?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying like what
Like, is your end goal to find love? Is your end goal to find happiness? Is your end goal to just like be content?
experience life period. Like for example, I've slept around a lot. Brandon, one of our friends, Ponchki, he has not. He finds it kind of appalling. Whereas like in my head, it's
Damn, I still wanted to sit down and have that conversation with them.
I know we
I had to
didn't.
leave that time.
It's natural for me, at least in my head, where I'm just like, yeah, you should definitely experience like handfuls of people so that you know what you want, you know what you like, you get to experience life. But that's just how I play it because that's how I've played my life. So in your head, because
Larissa, you answer first and then I'll answer after.
I'm kind of on the same page with Nick. Like, I don't think like, oh yeah, just go sleep with a bunch of people, experience life, like any of that. But I just think, well, just from my life personally, My end game is always to like be married and have kids and all that fun stuff, white picket fence type shit.
Yeah, nuclear family.
Yeah. But like if it wasn't for the crappy dudes that have walked into my life, I would not be able to appreciate some of the great guys that have walked into my life. So having to have like multiple relations with people has really changed my like
Perspective.
where I'm like, oh, like I can actually see because of dude number 1 how great dude number 4 is. Dude number 4 looks like an angel. And then dude number 4 can make dude number 7 look like the guy, like the one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy
you-
with like my life timeline.
I didn't want to take off my hat.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to tell me something by hitting yourself
No,
on
I'm
the head.
just sitting here just
Scratching an itch, no big deal.
thank you for saying not the fucking people itching an itch. You can't itch an itch. You can't. Just can't.
So if I can like try and go back to my days when I was searching mentally, basically like I worked a certain way and I know a lot of guys also worked this way too. I'm not saying it's universal law, but it was pretty common from my own personal experience. There was 3 options for a girl and how she was categorized in a guy's brain, and it usually was very, very quickly categorized, like it's within the first
Split
hour
second.
of meeting them.
Oh.
Like like split second, yeah, but you need a little bit of context just to be sure of your decision. It was friend, fuck, or wife. It was just like, I either have no interest in you romantically or physically. And that could be for like straight up, you're just not attracted to them, but it also could be context like, oh, this is a friend's ex, or this is like a person who I know, like, although I find them attractive, they're like going through it right now and it's not someone I'd want to pursue. So it's not just like, oh, they're ugly, I don't want them. So it's friend. And then for fuck, it's just like, you're cool, you're not seemingly at least right off the bat crazy or an awful person, and you're also physically attractive, but you're not quite what I want.
Like I'm not introducing you to my parents.
Yeah, you're not quite what I would want forever, but I like, if you made a move on me, I definitely wouldn't stop it. And if I had the opportunity to make a move on them, then I wouldn't hold back. And then there is wife, which is just like, oh my God, I have found the one. This person is everything that I want. I'm going to do everything in my ability to like try and swing this and make it work. And so it was obviously, as it should be, much, much, much more rare to find someone in the wife category than it was to find someone in the friend or fuck category. And it's also like the platonic and sexual, like those two kind of have a gray area where like, oh, like I wasn't really interested, but we've been friends for a while and like attraction grows over time. And you're like, okay, like I'd be down to hook up if that ever happened. And also the reverse is true. You see someone, you're like, oh yeah, I'd be down. And then you meet them a little more and you hang out with them a couple more times. You go, never mind.
As
Yeah,
a human.
no, just kidding. But usually if that's the case, then they usually fall completely out of the friend category at all, which is like not even in your sights. But I never, like, outside of cultural pressures given from like our older generations of like telling us like sex is sacred, sex should be only with one person, it should be till marriage, all this shit. Other than those societal pressures, sorry for slapping your mic, I didn't see a reason not to like allow yourself to hook up with someone if you both wanted to. And not want something and not instantly want to be in a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
And so I would obviously, we know my past. I wasn't a timid person. I went out and hoed and whatever, but I do like credit a lot of that to like a lot of the confidence I have in myself as a boyfriend and as like, and like even like in the bedroom is from having those experiences with different people and getting feedback from people on different accounts and different occasions, because like you can you can hook up with somebody and then they can be like, oh no, you did a great job. And then go and turn to their friends and be like, that was fucking awful.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, girls talk.
yeah, oh, they do. And word gets back around to you pretty quickly.
Girls groups, like once they get a best friend, they know everything.
Everything. Yeah, exactly. And so like
There's a girl sitting here like, I never do that. Texting her friend, listen to the stupid ass podcast. So wrong.
They're so wrong.
And so like when you like say, even if it's just with sex, say you hook up with somebody and you either learn a lesson the hard way or you get reinforced that you did something good, then you have that in your mind the next time you go into a situation, whether you're hooking up with that same person or somebody different. And then you get more feedback with that and continue and go on. And so you'll have, after like a few times, a better understanding of your strengths and your weaknesses. And I think that's really important to know. Whether it just be a social dynamic or a sexual dynamic or a romantic one, it's really good to know your strengths and weaknesses going into another situation rather than finding them out the hard way with someone you're really trying to make it work with.
Yeah.
And so I do think you should go out there and experience different people, get different perspectives and have your fun. I think there isn't any real good reason not to other than your own personal preference. And because like I've had so many people that I've known, primarily girls, ones especially close to me, tell me that they wanted to go out and kind of like go wild more, hoe around and experience more, but the pressure of their friends to not be like their friends or the people around them, like, oh, like you're gonna be you're gonna look like a hoe, you don't want to look like a slut,
like
you're
social norms,
like
make
the
it
slut shaming culture as a whole. Being there was the main reason that was preventing them from going and doing what they wanted to do.
Right.
And I think that is total bullshit. I think it's like a waste of time and energy to try and like
girls need different friends.
Yeah, it's like really pointless to go and tell someone that they're lesser because they went and hooked up with somebody outside of a relationship or on spur of the moment. Like as long as you're smart and safe about it, there should be nothing wrong with it.
I've had friends where I was like gonna go meet a guy, and then I've had friends either say like, yeah, do it, and come back to me and let me know exactly what happened.
Yeah, how it was.
Like tell me everything and like super supportive. And then I've had those same friends say, maybe like this isn't the one. Maybe you should just like stay home. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. So it's just like the friend, just be supportive, but also like have your back. But what you were saying brings me to a question about the whole like fucking girlfriend wife thing. When you meet a girl,
friend fucking wife thing.
What?
He said friend.
It's basically like platonic, sexual, romantic.
Yeah.
Those are the three.
So one of my really good guy friends, we always have this conversation. He always he'll meet a girl and he'll say, yeah, she was like girlfriend, but she wasn't wife. And like right off the bat, and those are the only two categories that he has, is like she was girlfriend, but she wasn't wife.
So,
but he said that like girlfriend, I don't know how he said it, but like something along the fact that like wife will always be wife, but girlfriend will never, like those are the girls where it's like, yeah, she'll be my girlfriend, but she's never wife. She's never the one that you like bring home to mom. But
so
like
my mentality on that is like, unless his mindset of it is like he doesn't like dating / talking / hooking up with multiple different people within the same time frame, he only wants to focus on one person at a time, and he knows it's not going to go anywhere. He knows it's just for fun.
Oh no, he's in his host stage now, and he is saying like every girl he meets, he just like it's not even that he wants to date them. He always just like sees it. He's like, oh yeah, like her personality, her persona, her everything is girlfriend material, but like not necessarily wife material. Like
does him saying girlfriend material mean he has intentions of making them his girlfriend?
No.
Or he's just categorizing them that way?
They're just categorized as in like, they're either girlfriend as in like, yeah, I'll date her, but like I'll never marry her.
Then when he say date her, does he also allow himself to date other people?
No, I think it's like date or...
See, that's the thing I disagree with, is I think that's an absolute waste of time. I think if you're not dating to marry...
Like, same.
If I think
Same,
you're
same,
not
same.
dating to marry, then you're wasting your time completely.
So that kind of bleeds into what we were talking about then, because the whole like dating around, like, yeah, you can talk to multiple people and you can date multiple people. Like sometimes it's just nice to go on a date.
Okay, so may I say?
Yes.
Okay,
And a relation.
I'm using the word dating.
That's why I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure.
So yeah,
Communication.
you're right. When I say dating, I mean exclusive in this
Okay.
context.
So we'll use the
if you're
actual
not
word.
if you're not going out and getting a girlfriend,
Yeah.
which you're exclusive with, in order to look to marry that person, then I think you're wasting your time. I think you shouldn't tie yourself down to one person.
Just know that you're going to break up later.
Yeah, with the eventual, with the thought in the back of your head that this is never going to be my wife, I think you're wasting your time.
Yeah. 100%.
I agree to that too.
And unless that's what they want to do, like if their version of hoeing around is just like, I pick one person, I fuck them till we're bored, and then we go split ways and we find someone else and we go one person at a time, then sure,
Yeah, if
the
you know that
girlfriend
it's-
wife thing
right.
works that way.
If you're fucking till you're bored, that's different than this is my girlfriend.
And you can't, and you for some reason, like you're just like me, like I can't focus on other people until I'm done with this one person, but I'm not looking for a wife. If that's how you operate, then sure, you have your girlfriends and you have your wives. But if you're getting in an exclusive relationship with somebody and you are looking at that person and you say, yeah, I cannot see myself putting a ring on it and having a family with this person. If you're one of these people listening right now, leave. Fucking get out of it. You're either wasting your time or you're building yourself up for somebody to get hurt. That's all it
I
is.
forgot who I was talking to recently where I had that conversation and they told me that they're doing that. And I went, what?
Why?
Why?
And this
Why
is the
are you
thing.
doing this?
I totally sympathize for those people though, because it's hard getting yourself in. Like if you go into it and then you find yourself in a sticky situation where feelings are involved and you are, because people love to talk about like, oh, just hit fuck it and just leave. But it's harder than it is. It's harder to do it than it is to say, at least for the majority of people. You guys can be like, oh, like, well, not me. I'm better than that. I can do it that way. And that very well may be the case. But on average, it's really hard for people to do that. And so like, I sympathize with those people because it sucks, but they need to like kind of have that self-reflection moment and gain the courage to break it off, even though they know it'll be messy. They know it'll hurt feelings. They know it'll suck, but right now is the best time to do it because you're only wasting more and more time the longer you wait.
Yeah.
So
I've never really understood people like who like date without the intent of marriage, like serial daters who just jump in.
there's somebody in high school. I remember it was just
I think we're
like
thinking-
that. I don't know if we're thinking the same thing because they were a year younger than your guys.
Oh, okay.
They're a year older than me. And
Just a relationship
After
after relationship after relationship. And from someone who like didn't really date, actually I didn't date in high school.
Oh, we
like-
know.
oh, that was good.
That was a good one.
Fucking 10
Okay.
out of 10, Nick.
He was waiting. He's like, bring up high school again. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. But yeah, for someone like who didn't date in high school, I always just saw these people going after a relationship 1 month later, a new relationship.
Dude,
a new
sometimes it's not
relationship.
even a month. Sometimes it's like
Yeah.
a week.
And I'm just like, how sad are you? How bored are you?
Yeah,
Why are you like, why,
when I
what
s-
makes you think like, yeah, I haven't had time to process this last one. Let me jump in and bring all my,
Baggage.
yeah, and like unharbored feelings and into this new thing. You guys share a birthday too now?
See, that's what I see. Like,
crazy jealous. He was like, yeah, guys, what's that?
is that a bond? Huh? Without me.
Knock it off.
That's one thing that'll run through my head. You'll see someone break up and then a week later be in a relationship with somebody else. And a couple things go through my head. One of them being, how did you find them so fast? Were you not talking to them while you were in your previous relationship?
Oh, yeah.
Because it usually takes more than 7 days to figure out whether or not you want to get into a public exclusive relationship with somebody. So
Oh, it
if
only takes you 7 days?
No, I'm saying it should take you more than 7 days. And if it does take you more than 7 days, but you did it in 7 days, you were cheating. And the other thing that goes through my
We're
head,
just fucking crazy.
Well, that's the next thing is either that last relationship meant so little to you that when you broke off, you felt nothing and were fresh and ready to get into a new relationship, or you're not stable and you hopped into a relationship, like you said, with baggage and unharbored feelings and all of this shit that you have not processed and dealt with. And then you walk right up to this next candidate and just went, hey, get ready for hell.
Just a nuclear plant waiting for an earthquake.
Exactly. And it's like, not only is that awful for you, but everyone can see it. Everyone from the outside watches it happen. They all talk about you. They all know that you're doing something awful. And when you come around and see them, they will put on a smile and be like, I'm so happy for you. And then you leave and they go, they're fucking crazy. So if
that
you're
I
one
follow
of these
on
people,
Instagram, if you break up with someone and then have a new person in your next post, know that I'm screen recording it and sending it to everyone.
people will talk about it because
Check
people
this
love to talk.
out.
Yeah, people like and like everybody will love to say like, I'm higher than that. I don't involve myself in drama. Bullshit.
Nope. My
You're
phone
boring.
is full of screenshots. The only thing I ever send is tweets back and forth to Nick and screenshots that I'm either sending to my mother or Nick and my other best friend. Like, I'm just like, check this out.
Dude, and it's like,
Half the time it's nothing.
yeah.
But like every once in a while you'll get that little,
But you'll be around your friends and someone will just be like, hey, did you see that
you
person?
saw it, right?
You saw person X is already with somebody else? And they'll go, yeah. Fuck. That doesn't look good. And then person X comes around and they go, oh, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then they leave and know that like everybody will, of course, person X being the, getting the shit out of a stick in this situation will be like, oh, that's so fake. When in reality, it's people know when to pick and choose their battles. No one is just going to walk in and you're going to be like, hey, and they're going to be like, so you're fucked up, huh? Like nobody
brings
in
the
their
new
right
person
mind
to the group and calls
it out. Like nobody nukes that social setting like that.
No.
People are polite.
Well, I don't think
are
people would do
kind.
that to the other person coming into the relationship because, like, it's like they did I just say like twice?
Yep.
They didn't choose to date. So, I mean, they did choose, but like, how were they supposed to know that the person that they found an interest with had only broken up with someone?
Yeah, if they're not honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, let's say person X who's getting drama talked about them and, is the shit end of the stick and thinks people are fake for not for being polite about it when they're coming in and not being honest about their true opinions, which would just cause problems and drama and all that shit. They're like, wow, these people are so bad. These people are so awful because they are like this and they're not being honest with me. When I know damn sure if person X was on the other side of this situation and was watching their friend do the same thing and they walked into the room right after talking about them, person X is going to go, hey, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. You're no better than everybody else. It's just how people operate. It's
I don't
better.
understand fake mentality.
It's so much better to just realize how the game is played rather than act like the game should be played a different way.
Like to kind of branch off into like the whole fake bullshit and people just putting on a face and whatnot. I do that with a couple people, literally to save the shit talking because
that's what you're supposed to do it for.
That person is a loaded gun, and I mean like, it's not even like we'll do anything to ruin your life. You just have to fucking hear it. You don't want to hear it.
It's just a waste of energy and time and stress for no fucking reason, and it's a whole mess that you have the choice to not open up,
right?
And so you don't.
And so, I mean, I'm not going to pinpoint one of the things, but that person. Okay, I'll just kind of speak briefly on that.
Okay,
a different
here's
situation.
who I'm talking about.
No, but like
Takes a
there's
scroll with names he'd been dying to.
there's a person that I tend to avoid until said person comes up to me, and then I'm just like, well, just put on a face until they walk away.
Yeah, it's
just because it's
a customer service face almost. You're just being nice.
But that's just dependent on the person because there was a fucking dickhead that showed up to a party, which he doesn't listen to this, and even if he did, I don't give a fuck. I want to say his name, but I don't want to be that guy. He came to this party
Text it to us later.
that we were at, and it was New Year's, and I hadn't seen this. Yeah. I hadn't seen this motherfucker since he gypped me for $150 when I shot a video for him for 3 days.
Oh, shit.
And he just shows up. And I was like, not even gonna look his way, because then if I look his way, he's the type of person that's gonna be like, oh hey. So I just kept ignoring. Huh?
I saw a lot of people who I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Like it
was weird.
Weird.
Yeah. So he comes up to me and he's just like, hey, what's up, dude? And I was like, hi. And he stuck out his hand and I just kind of looked at it and I was like, fuck it. Shook his hand. He's like, it's good to see you. I said, yeah, you too. And he tried to talk to me and I just turned. I was like, I don't need to put on.
That's all you need to do.
But that's what I'm saying is exactly like why people can't do that. Like if you're pissed off at somebody or if you don't want to deal with a certain situation, unless that person is going to, and I mean the only reason that I save face with that one person is just because they fucking yap all over everything.
And they're around.
And it's just, and it's like one of those things that's like, fuck it, whatever. This one's fine.
People,
but to run your entire life that way, like, I'll just fake it because like I don't want to. No, fucking just deal with it.
So people who complain a lot about the whole like fake shit, like, oh my God, you're so fake. You didn't tell me this. Oh my God, you're so fake. You didn't blah, blah, blah. There's usually a good reason why people aren't just brutally honest all the time. And the people who are unrealistic about this think that social dynamic on a spectrum works like friendly, and then there's a black line in the middle that's a centimeter, and then it's unfriendly. They think that's all it is. When in reality, it's like friendly, and then a gray area in the middle where you're civil and you're polite and you're respectful.
And that civil goes.
And then past that is the red area where it's unfriendly and hostile.
Yeah,
and
but
people
it's
think
a gradient rather than lines.
It is a gradient. It's not just like green of friendly and red of hostile. You have to realize that it's a gray area. And when you don't like somebody, but you don't like drama even more than you don't like that person, you will operate.
That's a very good point.
You will operate in that gray area of just being respectful.
And knowing
you
that
will
that
shake
person
their
is
hand.
going to cause drama.
You can shake their hand, you can tell them hello, but you don't have to go any further than that. You can sit there and be like, oh, how you been? Oh, I've been doing this, this, and that. Oh, that's cool. I've been doing this, and that. Very nice. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over here with my friends now. Like, you don't have to continue the engagement with that person. But please, for the love of God, people who want to bitch about like, oh, you're so fake. No, I'm not. I just don't like drama. I don't like beef. I'm not going to sit here and deal with.
That's literally all I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what irritates me is those people who will go out and complain about like, oh, fake friends. Oh, people are just so plastic and yada, yada, yada. Do the same shit. They only operate by they only think that black and white spectrum of social dynamic, it only applies when they're the victim. But when they're on the other side and they're dealing with someone they don't like, then it's a gradient. Then they can operate civilly and respectfully and still not be fake. And it's just, because I don't want to cause a fight.
Right. And then there are people that feed off of this stuff. Feed off of it like a troglodyte under a bridge. No, but like we'll be it's for fun. It literally is for fun.
I was the worst.
Well, and now it's not as bad. Like back then, it was anytime.
Oh no!
Every time.
While he was talking, I was literally thinking in my head. I was like, "Wow, I'm not any of that." But I would find something and would just not let it go, and I would just take it and just run with it.
You're talking about back then.
Back then, yeah. I was the worst. Like I remember I had beef with this girl, and then
you would like inflame it. You would like make it worse.
Oh yeah, like me and her didn't like, and we ended up. We were weird. We like went from friends to not friends to friends to not friends. But like every person that she dated, after they broke up a couple months later, we would end up like talking. So she always thought that I was just like trying to date all the guys she was trying to date. But there's this one time I was like talking to a guy that she had just got done talking to, and she drank a lot more than I did. And someone took a picture of her like passed out on the floor in the bathroom, and somehow I got it. And I was like, yes. What's up, internet?
Oh my God.
See, she like I'm talking about now though.
You sound like the typical like movie high school cheerleader like lead of like, I like drama, I like fighting, and I don't like you.
I don't like
literally, yeah, it was in high school. But now what I'm talking about is just like if we're somewhere where she goes, that looks kind of fun, I'll just kind of go set a spark real quick, and then I'll run back. And that's
you light the fuse, and
it's
then you sit
fun
back and watch the
sometimes.
explosion.
Like I'll be honest, it is.
Do
like
I do that?
yeah,
He's basically calling you an instigator.
yeah, you do. It's not a problem. It's fun sometimes.
Everybody's an
you don't-
instigator.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I'm like, actually, what? Nope.
I was gonna say I can give you
I was
three situations.
Give me an example, and I went, don't give me an example.
But yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes it's fun to fool around with those things. Like
It's like
God.
everybody loves being on the outside of it. Like everybody loves like hearing about the shit and going, "Oh, this makes life spicy."
I did a
Interesting.
certain thing knowing, and this was literally very recently. I won't say exactly where because then things get connected and people get pissed. I did a thing recently on purpose to help someone, but knowing in turn it was going to piss someone else off.
petty.
In a way.
Yeah.
It was a petty thing.
It was a petty deed.
But it was completely justified. And if I were to explain it to anybody, they'd be like, yeah, that's a really
I feel like
fucked up
anytime
thing.
someone does something extremely petty, I had good reasons
No,
though.
Yeah.
But
Nobody in their right mind goes, "No, it's totally unjustified. I'm a piece of shit."
no, because if straight up I would say like, oh, I didn't need to do that. I've done a handful of fucking things where I was just like, you don't need to act that way.
No, yeah, but the entire thinking process of it is just like, there's a person that I don't like, and I don't like them for good reasons, so I am justified in doing something that will give them what they
How
deserve.
about this? It was a petty thing to save one person's feelings while knowing it was going to affect
Upset someone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And the
we'll
thing
weigh
is,
the good and the bad, and the good outweighs the bad.
yeah,
here.
and you're upsetting someone who you think deserves it,
Yes. So
and so
then
that's why you think you're justified.
And then hearing nonstop
Ethics,
about how
morals.
as like I am going from one location to another, hearing nonstop about how much of a piece of fucking shit I am as I'm like just walking by. I'm like, from that makes me a piece of fucking shit.
no, it's almost
It was fun.
It's
fun.
fun.
So, dude, I felt the fucking eyes on the side of my head, and I was like, "Yeah, just keep fucking
Nick is-
staring at me. Just let me know." And it
Nick
was
is finally getting to know how I felt all through high school. Like,
give me a hit
I
of
know
that
the
shit.
I know the fucking feeling, but you, like I said, troglodyte, living off of that shit. Like it was.
No,
Caleb,
yeah.
I think I told you that like I would go over to Nick's house and like hang out with him like early in the morning.
Here you go, everybody. Let's
And then-
find out how big of a piece of shit Larissa is.
Let's do
Used to.
Yeah.
So I'd like drive over to Nick's house super early in the morning, and he lived across the street from
School.
the school. I
Yeah.
won't say the name because
It's fine. That
We
part
already
doesn't
have
matter.
so many
Yeah.
times.
no, because you guys keep making fun of me.
Oh, Lancaster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lancaster.
So yeah, you went over by Lancaster.
by Lancaster, and so I would make him walk to school before I left. So
This was
like,
after making out with me.
okay.
Damn, leaving out that detail, huh?
Yeah, dude,
I, like,
strung me along. We'll say that
like,
part.
Made out with Nick, and then I'd be like, okay, so
Oh my god, you did tell me about this.
I'm gonna need you to walk to school. I'm gonna stay in your house though for an extra 10 minutes. Then I'm going to drive to school. So there's
So you don't arrive at the same time.
and then
And you know what my
then didn't-
cuck ass did?
he said, "Do you want me to bring you lunch?"
You know what my cuck ass did?
Shut up, Nick. You're in love.
You walked to school, and I bet you walked to school with a skip to your step and a smile on your
Oh
face.
no, I was angry.
You were
because,
angry?
because I knew exactly what she was doing.
Oh, she didn't tell you?
She didn't want anybody to know.
No, I thought she would tell you, like, I don't want anyone to see us, so this is why we're doing this. She wouldn't even say that.
what?
In different terms,
And
I'd just
different
be like,
in a I don't want anyone to know that I was around you.
I was like, I just don't want people to know that we were like hanging out this morning. So if you can just like walk, and then in 10 minutes, I'll clean up a little bit, like clean up whatever breakfast we made, and then I'm going to drive to school and then I'm going to park in my spot and you're going to keep walking.
Like my lovely father, I liked broken people. So I was like, I can fix this.
Like my father before me, I chase after fucked up girls.
Like my father before me. Yeah. It was just in my head, it was just like, it'll eventually change for 4 years. And then finally, when I
New
got
Year's
fed up,
resolution for 3 years straight was the same thing.
when I finally got fed up,
Stop letting
and I was
Larissa
just like,
win.
I'm done. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done. She went, no, come back. And was like, I want my toy. Like, please come back. Like, don't. Yeah, it was
Baby, I'm sorry.
it was quite,
And then
quite,
you're just a big puddle.
quite the fucking experience. Quite the experience.
And now we're friends. What's up?
So, that's too far. It really is. Unless you're going to, I have too much shit around me. So you're either going to have to go for
You
it.
guys really gonna reach for
There
that
you go.
fist bump? There we go.
Yeah, I was like, if you don't,
Do you see what's around me?
Not enough to block friendship. No.
You left the fist bump.
Sorry, there's too much of a distance.
Boom. Got it.
no, fuck you and your distance now, Caleb.
All right.
I thought we had a bond.
All right, so let's talk about the manager thing, just because it's fun, and we're here, and then people can listen to it, and it can be solidified, and then it's one of those things where it's like, can't escape it now. We're gonna have to. I really do want to talk about this, and what better fucking place than on the podcast,
Yeah, on the episode itself.
on the episode. So as much as like we were making jokes about it at first, we've all talked about it. People listening, I'm speaking to you. Caleb and I are clearly not going to stop anytime soon. This is something that we've hit our dates every single day. It's now 2020 and we're 3 months out from doing this for a full year. Like this is
So exciting.
Damn, that's nuts.
it's a project, and it is a project that's not going to be stopping. A fairly creative project. I'll say fairly creative. And with that comes a lot more push and a lot more
shove.
pushing and shoving to get this down people's throats. Whatever aggressive force we have to take. Neither of them heard that.
Aggressive force we have to take.
So with that being said, someone that knows how social media works really fucking well
I'll stop it.
with posting and just someone that understands like this is what you need to do to get the attention. These are the ideas that I can give you and all that fun stuff. We're genuinely thinking, if not have already thought about and figured out that like Larissa can help us manage it. And we called her the manager, but really it's just a lot of ideas.
Really, she's like the intern.
a director of I want
Not
to
even that. I just think that like
you have ideas.
Yeah, that's literally it.
And
But
well, she has
me wanting to
ideas and
be-
experience. Like
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
genuinely and
In the
you're
field.
getting into the field where
Yeah,
it's
me
like
wanting to be a manager for a living.
what you're going to school for.
Yeah.
So
like,
it would be
it's just
dumb
practice.
to literally not take the help from the fucking person
Yeah.
who's going to make this their profession.
Let the
outside,
Nick and Tub podcast be my guinea pig.
outside of the jokes, and yes, true, but outside of the jokes, like I just hate receiving help without feeling like I'm justifiably giving enough back, if not more, from somebody. So like when she's like, oh, like I want to help you guys out, I want to do these things and like be a part of this.
We can't pay you.
Well, like that's my thing is like obviously like we can't pay you, but I'm just like I feel like we're getting more out of it than she is, and then I feel guilty about that.
And I get that 100%.
But from like my perspective is like, if this succeeds, it just like lets me know that I am going
Doing
in the
something
right.
right.
Yeah, I'm going in the right direction that I need to be doing.
And
And it
the-
has felt so good. Like the whole FITM thing, I've always been super unsure
Iffy.
of what I wanted to do. This school, and like I am on fire. And I hate school. Like I love learning, but I hate school.
Oh, I fucking feel that.
And this school, I am like,
She's murdering it.
I'm so excited. Like I'm stuttering. Like,
Can I have the cards?
It's so much fun. And like I go to school every single day or like every other day, and I'm just stoked. Like I had my last month, I had a a 6 to a 9:45 class, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be driving home at night at 10 a.m. But like, I don't care because I am like on fire. And then after those classes, I'd have to like call people and just be like, I am in an ethics and morals class, and that sounds so boring.
Oh no,
but
I would soak that up.
Stoked.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. So like me helping you guys and like letting this be my little guinea pig, I'm like, yeah,
It's one thing to ask for help
on it.
and not to be able to give back. But when the
Help is being given.
here,
or
Yeah,
offered.
I guess that's a good point. It would be different if we were like
Look it up.
going to you and be like, oh, like please, we need to add somebody on board to help. And you're like, I guess. Then I would feel bad. But if you're like, let me fucking help you, then I'm like, okay.
Which is literally how I've been. I'm like, hi guys, I don't want to like push or anything, but
But
let
some
me
shit.
help you.
I mean, dude, when we first started, you had buddies in different states that were trying to be like, let me be your Jamie of your podcast. And it was just like,
people were like, send it to me. I'll cut it up.
we
we'll
didn't
do
even know
this.
what the fuck we were doing. And on top of that, we still don't.
Dude,
Which is
fucking-
why, no, but
fucking Sean literally is like, whenever you guys need camera gear, whenever you guys need somebody to run video, if you guys want to run like multiple cameras, like let me know, I'll be there, I'll do it for you.
and
it's
people
just like,
are genuinely
it's like, you guys are so nice.
The only problem with that and why I don't accept the help when it comes to something like this is because if you change up quality for something, right? Let's just say if we ask Sean for like a one-time
Are you talking
thing,
about doing multiple angles and then reverting back to what we're doing
Yes.
now? No. I know. I get that. But just like the fact that people are like, no, I'll help you whenever you want, as much as you want.
and that's what I'm saying, you won't. I'm sorry, whoever's offering that, you won't.
I actually believe Sean would. Unless he had something
Okay,
like
sorry.
actually helping him back, holding him back from
Not
doing
just you won't. If you want to and you are literally willing to, and that's what you think, you can't.
Yeah, because
we
of just
can
like being
barely
busy.
keep dude, it's
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah.
This is going up tomorrow. Like it's a constant fluctuating schedule of a project that you want to be part of to help us because you love us, but it's not your baby.
It's difficult. Yeah, I
like,
get it.
You eventually are going to be wanting to be part of it somehow rather than just helping if we're bouncing around this crazy ass schedule and asking for all these favors. So
Yeah, that's the thing. I hate asking for favors.
and
so
that's what I'm saying.
That's why
is
I'm like, I couldn't.
When
I
it
couldn't
comes
do it.
to bigger help, like straight up, if somebody was like, "Oh, we have," okay, for
Like if we have
example,
one of the
send in
things-
questions. Oh, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I would say one of the things that we have planned that we want to do special that we talked about. One of the things that I brought up. We'll probably need help with that, and if we want to do it safely and properly, then we'll probably need some like help with that. And I know for a fact that our friends are there to
Yeah,
rely on
I have
that.
no fucking
special
idea what
instance.
you're talking about, but yes,
Yeah, and,
I do.
Yeah,
no, you don't.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. But the point being is that people send in questions. That's helpful, right? And it's ridiculous, but that gives us topics to talk about. When
and
you
it
can
makes it more interactive. I love
correct,
that.
and when you can offer help in doses, like for example, you helping us with a general direction of like posting, and this is how you reach out to people, and you brought a fucking book for Caleb to read. Like those things aren't everlasting things that constantly need to be like redone over and over. It's like, oh, I can offer you this help, and then if you offer no more help from that point forward, we'll be fine. So it's one of those things where it's not a drastic amount, and so I think it'd be dope if you did end up helping us. Like you already gave us an idea on a poll, and that poll worked out fairly fucking well.
Yeah, I was right. It was great.
So
Caleb was like, this is why I want Larissa to manage because I'm just right all the time.
and so I don't know. I think the whole idea of having someone in the field that knows what they're doing, literally going to school for it, has been in that field for a long fucking time to help us manage and give us a better idea of what direction we should go.
And then if we blow up, good for you, because then you benefit off that too.
Yeah, I just get to know like that I like the one thing I wouldn't hate for it to happen is like me finishing school and then not wanting to manage anymore or like feeling like I'm not like adequate enough.
Like you would hate for that to happen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh
would
yeah, it's a
hate for
huge.
that to
Then
happen.
you feel like you
because I
wasted
am
time.
so on fire for it right now. Like I Bible think it's what I should be doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fast
Yeah.
forward 5 years and I'm like not doing that.
You're like,
Imagine.
yeah, I can't believe I didn't see myself as a chef. You're like, I was
If
around
you would have
Southern
told me
food.
5 years ago that I was going to be a chef, I
I'd
would
be
have
like,
told you,
stop it. You're
you're
crazy.
actually crazy because it's not what I wanted to do.
But no, yeah, and like, well, I was just meaning like, not only does it show that your work is successful, but then like we could fucking pay you, like,
Yes,
and then you could actually like,
that too. Also, yes, but I feel like if this does blow up like the way I kind of envision it in my head right now, it just is a little extra bonus for me saying like, yeah, like
look
you
at this
hoped
on my
that-
resume. Like I helped kickstart this.
Yeah, it was like it's more of like not even on my resume. It's more for me to know like, okay, you're where you're supposed to be. Like you're not wandering anymore.
Right.
Like you're
Yeah.
Just
you're
like it's a
Definitely.
project for us, it's a project for you.
Okay. I get that.
Do
I
you
totally
feel
see
better now?
that. Yeah, I feel better now.
You can help.
So speaking of getting paid, hey, Buzzed, the drinking game. It's been just sitting here as
What
an
if
advertisement.
you guys started making this a segment where you guys drink, and every once in a while, when at least you have guests, you do a little round of like 5 cards.
With Buzzed,
Yeah.
like itself,
I was thinking that. We'll see.
so that we keep reusing Buzzed over and over again as I keep saying Buzzed.
Hashtag buzzed.
And
Hashtag get buzzed. That's their actual hashtag.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
I looked at it when I was reading a card.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, it's at the bottom of every fucking card. Idiot.
Is there anything else we want to touch on?
I'm pretty good. You good?
Yeah, I'm solid.
Did you stroke out? What the fuck was that? Didn't know stroke sounded like that. With that, we haven't talked about it in a long time just because, like, it slips our brains. But for everybody listening, we do appreciate it. If you guys could, on whatever, YouTube, on the podcast app, on Spotify, whatever other fucking places you're listening to this on, rate, review, all those things. I hate saying it, but it does help. It really does. It actually pushes
it
it.
does.
For example,
Yeah,
we got
on.
where's that shout out?
I already
You
shouted
did?
him out.
Okay, cool. You did that last time.
I shouted him out. Josh, he found us
Random.
because we were on his Explore page.
He was in what, Midwest somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Just randomly on his Explore page. And that is because when you have ratings and reviews and things like that, it actually pushes you farther to the top, which, I mean, there's oversaturated podcast platform. So,
Oh yeah, 100%.
but with all of that, we just want to say thank you guys for listening.
Well, that, and it's like if people,
Oh,
I would love
more.
if people, yeah, no, there is. I would love if
Oh
people
fuck,
would
his
like,
name's Noah. Wrong brother. His name's Noah Ferguson.
'cause you
and I shouted
remembered.
him out, but I was like, oh yeah, he's your brother's name, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
remember that.
yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
I would just love for people to like at least let you guys know what they like, what they don't like, even if it's not like on a public review page. If it was just a private DM, if they could just let you guys know like what they like,
Feedback is liquid gold.
what you don't like, so then you guys know like, oh, not a lot of people like when we burp in the mics.
Literally, you and Danny got on our cases about the intros. Fix the intros.
Yeah.
And now they're short and haven't heard a peep since.
Or just like ideas like, oh, I think it'd be cool if you guys did this. Or how about here's a I mean, yeah, the questions I thought were amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, so
All 15 from Catherine and 45 from
Tess.
Tess.
and 10 from Rachel.
Yeah. Which they weren't even questions. What did something about a lollipop and sticking my thumb up your ass?
Yeah, along
some
those
crazy
lines.
shit.
Fucking Rachel.
I don't think it's bad to have long-winded outros because people always see the time frames on that. But are we good?
Solid. What is
Cool.
it, 56?
Yes, 56. Larissa Thorold, thank you. Appreciate you.
Good job.
And with that, go fuck yourself.
Bye, guys.
Bye.